Side of Mount Moon is Cerulean City, a town that is noted to be surrounded by waterways. I'll be totally honest with you guys, when I first played this game as a kid, I went through the entire game with just Squirtle, who eventually evolved into a Blastoise. And I remember steamrolling a lot of the trainers. Of course there were others that gave me trouble, but clearly I wasn't playing the game right. I only caught Pokemon that I was interested in. The game explicitly tells you at one point to have a balanced team, but did anyone play it that way the first time, or is that just me? I still beat it. I say this because going through this game after years of not playing it, I realized the love. I remember steamrolling a lot of the trainers. Of course, there were others that gave me trouble, but clearly I wasn't playing the game right. I only caught Pokemon that I was interested in. The game explicitly tells you at one point to have a balanced team. Did anyone play it that way the first time, or is that just me? I still. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Is my audio all messed up? Let's find out. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Is my audio all messed up? Let's find out. Nope. That sounds right on my end. We're doing some Pokemon today. Don't take that out of context. Welcome, welcome. Let me play some things in the background just to make sure my audio... I did a lot of changes to my PC recently. So I want to make sure that those configurations are all correct. First of all, I'm facing the wrong way. Let's adjust that. All the little things I should have done before the stream. TheMentok, you're so silly. Well, if you're here joining me, today I'll be doing a little research stream for Pokémon Crystal, or Gen 2, Pokemon Gen 2. As you guys know, I already have the Gen 1 video up and ready, so this is something that I've been trying to work on for some time. Nintendo, ignore the emulator here. Let me just get my last couple of things set up here on my face cam. All right. Flip myself, transform, and flip. There we go. All right. Mr. Mentok, are you from Broward County? I'm from Dade County, born and raised. I don't live there anymore, but I have no school spirit for what it's worth. But if you've seen me in the area before, it's probably because I was visiting home. But definitely, I'm a Florida boy. Florida. You can't take the Florida out of me. All right, let's try some audio checks here. Just make sure this sounds good. See if you guys are hearing everything properly. I'm gonna mute myself and do a quick sound check on my little stream. Sound check on my little stream. Sound check on my little stream. Huh. Okay. I think I'm good. The game's not showing though, so I need to do that. So if you guys are wondering why my stream's all discombobulated, I did upgrade my video card recently. So I got little like upgrades to my whole setup. I got better RAM now. I have a better video card, and I have a couple other upgrades that I put into this PC recently. So this would be the first stream on that new stuff. So what that means is I can now record gameplay while I am... Okay, there we go. right, there it is. It's showing now. I was just doing some funky stuff. So I can do streams like this to record gameplay while I'm streaming. On my previous setup with my old graphics card, it wasn't a bad graphics card. It just like reached capacity very quickly whenever I was streaming. So if I was streaming plus playing a video game plus trying to record it, it was just like it would mess up the recording every time. So now that I have like all this upgraded stuff, I'm happy that I can actually sit here and play through some of this stuff with you guys as I'm doing the video. Um, there are times where I don't necessarily play some of the games that I talk about. Like if I have a good memory of it, for example, like Sonic Adventure 2, I don't think I have to go back and like replay a game like that. But for Pokemon, which is like a very, very different experience per game, it's very important that hold up. Let me make sure I don't have feedback coming through on the stream. I have like, let me just make sure my microphone is in the right spot. One sec. I have like, let me just make sure my microphone is in the right spot. One sec. I have like, let me just make sure my. Okay, I know what the problem is. One second. We're gonna fix all of this live on stream. All of my audio is out of whack, so it's taking like I have 3 microphones all over here. So you guys aren't even hearing my good microphone right now. Okay, let's go with. Boom. Everything else should be disabled. Boom. Okay. Hello. Am I coming through loud and clear? This should sound much better. I wish I tested this before the stream. Shout out to all my PC upgrades causing all of my configurations from before to be null and void. I sound perfect now. Thank you. Imagine if I went through the whole stream sounding like that before. It was like, okay, I can turn my stream down now. Okay, so if I have any issues, just let me know in the chat. But I'm gonna move forward. I think like all the defaults that I had before were all screwed up in Streamlabs. All right, and then you guys should be hearing the game as well. Give me a thumbs up if you hear this. We work through the problems together. We work as a team. But as I was saying, like, now that I have all these upgrades, I can stream the games that I'm making videos about. So no longer am I doing this stuff in silence. Now, if you guys enjoy today's stream, I'm basically going to be playing through as much as I can of Pokemon Crystal today. I know I'm doing a Gen 2 video, which means Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal. But I personally, actually, I've never played Pokemon Crystal before. I've played Gold and I've played Silver in the past, but I never got the definitive version with all the cool stuff. I played Heart Gold after that, which I think melted together the Crystal content later on in later generations, but I've never actually played this game. So I'm actually excited to do that, especially so close after my Gen 1 playthrough. And just to see this is one of my favorite games in the Pokemon series, because like they did so much with the next generation of Pokemon. And I think this is really what cemented the formula. You know, like if you guys watched my video before, you know, Gen 1 had all of these experimental ideas. It was a very ambitious project, and Nintendo didn't really know if this was something that was going to succeed or if the juice was worth the squeeze. Well, they proved, Game Freak proved them wrong, and it became a worldwide phenomenon. And this was the follow-up. And I feel like this was supposed to be the game that they initially came out with. So we're going to get into that. I'm not going to waste any more time. I think all of the audio sounds correct, and we're going to jump into it. So thanks for joining me. I think this is like a lighter, like, stream that I didn't want to give, like, I wasn't going to give like a ton of fair warning beforehand. Let me just make sure everything's showing up there, and then I will start my recording. Now, I'm gonna need the chat to let me know if they see any issues, because now I'm pressing record. All gameplay is gonna be on screen right now. And this is what I'm gonna use for my eventual Gen 2 video. The game audio isn't coming through. That will be important. Let's I understand now. I know what to fix. I know what to fix. I gotta fix everything now. This is terrible. Okay, that should be better. You should hear everything now. Praise be. Is it working? Just give me a thumbs up in the chat. You should hear my voice. It should sound like I'm talking through a microphone. You should also hear the gameplay, and that's about it. I think I'm seeing it come through. So I think we're good. All right, perfect. All right, normally I don't fumble with stuff like this, but since you, that's why I never like to plug things out of my PC, because you never know what settings it upsets after a while. Like, oh my gosh, it's really annoying to set Discord backup, to set OBS backup, Streamlabs, YouTube, like all of those things. Like I have to reconfigure because I have so many things plugged into my one PC. All right, I can give quick shout outs to who's here, by the way. Jazz, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's been a minute since we last spoke. Congrats again on your recent union. It looks beautiful. Love you guys. Wishing you guys all the best in the next chapter of your lives. Wish I was clever. Welcome to the stream. Case and phone. Welcome. That's a long name that you have here. Wade no bice Martucciani Mation. I'm gonna say Wade. I'm gonna go with Wade. What's up, Wade? My synapses in the brain aren't like making the connection as to what that's trying to tell me. Zombie Souffle. One of my regulars, man. What's going on? Which starter am I choosing? There's only one starter that we go with in Gen 2, and that's Totodile. That's what I've decided. I don't know. Maybe it should be something else, but I am always prone to water types. Okay, I didn't pre-play. This was me actually trying out a preloaded save file before, just to see like if everything's working. I did make a slight hack to this game, but just like a few things I'm noticing from the get-go, like that beautiful cutscene at the beginning. What an upgrade. But as you guys know, this is on the next generation of Game Boy consoles, the Game Boy Color. So the original Pokemon, even though it was a late entry, was for the original Game Boy. This is a Game Boy Color original game. That means better sound quality overall, and overall better graphics. Even though it's not that huge of a difference, the color aspect of it gave a lot of options for developers to create these like shadows using color. So you could do a lot with that, even if the graphics are similar. So Game Boy Color is actually one of my favorite handhelds to come out of Nintendo. And it was my intro into the Game Boy family. I didn't really get a Pocket or anything before that because I was heavily onto Sega stuff before that. And I had to be picky and choosy with the games that I selected. But right out the gate, already in the options, so many other things. Can I get stereo, please? Yes. Does that sound better? I don't even know. I'm gonna go with mono. Not the disease, but you know what I'm talking about. All right, so like I want to pick a frame. I prefer the olive green colors of the original Game Boy. There is something clean about, you know, those olive green colors, especially when you're replaying those games, because that's how it was intended to be seen. I'm gonna go with this frame. I think that's cool. Just the fact that I have this choice is like, it's pretty nice. A lot of really cool things we're gonna see as we go through this game. Now, I can't tell you on command which features are new to Crystal. I probably know offhand, like there's a whole Suicune story that is teased out in Gold and Silver, but then I think there's like a whole plot line and plot device for that in Crystal. So I think that's the biggest change. And then the Unknowns is another Pokemon that's kind of like mysterious throughout. I think it's kind of teased out in Gold and Silver, and then it kind of has more of a plot device here as well. So we're going to be uncovering all of that. Okay, let us begin, everybody. I always choose Cyndaquil and name it Toasty. It does look like a toasty marshmallow. Have you heard the allegations of Typhlosions as of late? No, please stop. Oh man, release the Typhlosion files, man. I've heard so many. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know. There's like when the Game Freak hack happened, I was kind of like not a willing participant of what came out of that, because there was just something that didn't feel right about decades of like hidden things, or like decades of work and concepts just being unveiled to everybody to just dissect. Some things were funny. I think the Typhlosion story was funny, but like leaks for Gen 10 and things like that, you know, I wasn't a fan. I saw them going all over Twitter. I see less of it now. But that was a time. It was just like people were openly like unveiling like all of this work that people have done without their consent. It just felt a little weird to me, and I never really subscribed to a lot of that. Drew Ches, thank you for the sub. So yeah, at that time, like I didn't really get into a lot of that stuff. I know some things are safer to, I think there was like some info about Gen 1 and 2 that came out of that too. So I'm kind of like piecing through it now as I go through the Pokemon series, just to like figure out what I'd like to talk about and other things that I probably won't talk about. So anyway, this is the first game in the series where you can actually choose between whether you're a boy or a girl. I'm gonna go with boy, just because, I mean, I would like show you guys the girl side just so you know like what the sprite looks like and all that stuff, but I'm picking the boy mainly because I just feel like the end game is more iconic, like the imagery of it all. And I guess I won't spoil like what happens later. I guess everybody knows the twist at the end, but you know. Anyway, so if you guys saw my original playthrough, I named myself Mentok, so I got to figure out what I'm going to put for this guy. You woke me up. Will you check the clock for me? All right, you guys know I'm rocking with Eastern time right now. It is 6 p.m. at night, so we get to have a nightly start to our adventure, which I think is cool. It's a nice little... So yeah, that's another added feature, is the day and night cycle, which I think was like... I remember... I'm going to speak only from my memory. That shit was crazy to me. I'm just like, oh, you can set the clock and the time changes. And then it does matter when you're evolving certain Pokemon, what time of day it is. So it is 6 o'clock for me right now. It's actually a couple of minutes after 6. Shout out to all my other night wanderers just leaving work. Settle in, get yourself a cup of evening coffee or tea, and hang out with your boy for a little while. Let me see, did I miss any other chats? Okay, good. At least I'm not having any more glitches. Earlier sounded atrocious, and I might apologize for that. No wonder it's so dark. Oh, it's Professor Oak. Hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. I'm gonna do voices as long as I can. If my voice sounds a little weird, I had like a 2-day cold earlier this week. So I have a little bit of sniffles. My voice is not back to 100%, but it's enough for me to get through this. At least I can think now. I was like super sick earlier. So yeah, welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak. People call me the Pokemon Professor. This world is inhabited by creatures that we call Pokemon. People and Pokemon live together by supporting each other. Some people play with Pokemon, some battle with them.
But we don't know everything about Pokemon yet. There are still many mysteries to solve. That's why I study Pokemon every day. This is you ready to start a fight. Now, what did you say your name was? So by default, this guy is either named Gold, and I know the default name in Gold and Silver I think is Ethan, or is Ethan Gen 3? Somebody remind me. It's funny that here it's like Chris, Matt, Alan, and John. Is this typically how you would spell Matt? This is like a little weird. Normally it's 2 T's, right? Yeah, basic white boy names. Chris, Matt with 1 T, Alan, and John. Ethan. Oh, look, Ethan is calling out Ethan. Look at you. Maybe you should get Azumarill sometime this playthrough, potentially. I'm open to whatever team this time around. I know Azumarill is a bit of a powerhouse within this game, so totally open to that. Am I looking at the right screen? No. Why does my face always... I think I'm always used to looking at the left screen, and then when I flip myself, that's why. Okay, so I'm always, when I moved recently, I switched monitors, so I'm always used to looking this way in my old setup. So my camera always gets confusing because typically I look at it and I'm like, oh, okay, you're looking the right way. You're looking to the left. But then I like lock into the right and I feel like I'm looking the wrong way. Okay, Gold is the name here. Gold is definitely the move. I called myself, I called my original playthrough guy Mentok. Maybe I should just go with Gold instead, but Gold seems very like standard. How else am I gonna put my seal of approval on this? Are there enough letters here to put my actual name? Let me see. There's just enough. I'm gonna put my actual name. So since I put Mentok in my Pokemon Blue playthrough, I'm gonna go with my real name this time around. I always like this protagonist a little bit better. No slights at Red. I'm just saying. We'll get there when we get there. Should I put it in all caps? I think lowercase is a little weird sometimes in this game. But I always feel weird shouting like the name from the rooftops. Anyway, I told you guys my real name recently. It's Yannick, based off of that one tennis player from a while back. If you guys didn't know that about me, there's Mentok lore for you. But it feels weird when people call me that in the chat or comments. I'm getting used to it. You know, like it's like the Batman Bruce Wayne thing. I don't see myself as that, but you get what I mean. Your very own Pokemon story is about to unfold. You'll face fun times and tough challenges. A world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go! I'll be seeing you later. You know, like, you know why I'm like, oh, here's this thing. Why I've always felt weird about using my real name in things. Like I've seen streamers do it all the time, and I'm like, okay, this is not a big deal. Like everybody knows Markiplier's real name. Everybody knows like big streamer's real name. Corey Kenshin, his name is Corey, or unless it's not Corey and he's been lying to us all this time. People know their names. I grew up in the 90s where like people were super weird about having your name anywhere online. But seeing my name is probably everywhere online, like within my personal life and like all the things and all like the Facebook profiles and what people know. Why is it so secretive? You know, like, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just like that old stigma from back in the day, that stranger danger. You never know who you're going to talk to online. And here I am talking to anybody that will show up to my stream at this point or in my videos. But yes, anyway. So welcome to Pokemon Crystal. We have now opened up, sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh name. I would love to be a Yu-Gi-Oh character, man. I love that art style in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's so like the angles, like the lineage on them was always so rich. Yu-Gi-Oh and Yugi and well, Yami specifically. I think that's probably why you're saying it sounds like that. And Seto always had like that swag. I always loved how their clothes was so angled and managed to keep like frame in some way. I don't understand how like the coats were always stuck in the coolest badass position. I wouldn't go out wearing any of that shit now, but you get my point. All right, let's check the Hey, what's going on? Hold on. Where did I see? I just missed that. Oh, there it is. Lords, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. How have you been? It's good to see you. Good to see you. I know it's been years. Hi, TheMentok. Big fan from NYC. I play your videos in the comic book store I run all the time. That feels strange to me to hear it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Don't worry. I appreciate that it plays in them in the stores. I wonder like if people get caught up on all the lore that they need to. It's like the perfect place to play my videos. But man, I could imagine like how strange I'd feel walking into a comic book store and just seeing my face everywhere. I don't know. I'm getting used to the public viewing of myself sometimes. Like people have recognized me in public and I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do with my hands? What do I say? But yeah, thanks for the support, man. I appreciate that. All right, let me see if there's anything in the PC. All right, it's a TV, a whole collection of Pokemon pictures and books. You ever thought of doing a Pikmin or Animal Crossing deep dive? Absolutely. Nothing is off the table, to be honest. It's just like my time constraints, that's all. Why do I have two moms in here? What's going on? Oh, she's talking to me. Man, why am I forgetting something right now? Okay, I'm gonna try. Actually, I remember what I was gonna say. I'm gonna try going for 2 badges per stream. So I'm gonna try and split it up and do like maybe 2 badges per or 3 badges per. I think like the startup for Pokemon Gold is, I can't remember, it's faster or slower than the original. But we'll see. I'm gonna see if I can get to 2 badges this time around. I think 3 is a bit ambitious. That's Whitney. The third one is Whitney. And then of course there's like all the grinding time. So what's not off the table here? I'm gonna establish the rule set. Here we go. Here's the rules. I'm allowed to cheat. I won't cheat on levels. I'm not gonna level up my Pokemon or cheat that way. But if I need to use a GameShark code to get content for this recording, I'm gonna do that. So I hope nobody minds that part. I think if I need to get an exclusive Pokemon into this version of the game, I'll use a GameShark code for that. If there's like some trade exclusive that I may need to do or simulate, I'll use a cheat code for that. And then if there's like a special event that I needed to do for like Celebi or something like that, I forget how it works in Crystal, I'll use a cheat code for that. Something like that. So that's probably what the only things I'm going to use cheats for. That's what I did in the first playthrough. I narratively worked it in and said I had a friend trade some of this stuff for me. I didn't have a friend do it. I used cheats. But, you know, I have no shame doing that because, like, I played through the whole game. All right, I wasn't going to find anybody to go trade with me and, like, replay this game just to get a Charmander or Bulbasaur. But, yeah, just putting those disclaimers out there. I might do those things in this. So if you see me hop in and start doing that stuff, it's for that. But that probably won't be relevant until much later. Let's see. Nintendo awoke with 2 moms. Hey, it's progressive. The word is progressive. All right. Oh, Yannick, our neighbor, Professor Elm, was looking for you. I remember like the talking was a little bit more awkward this time around for some reason. The sentence structure. He said he wanted you to do something for him. Oh, I almost forgot. Your Pokemon gear is back from the repair shop. Here you go. All right, so we got our Pokemon gear right from the jump. That's a lot earlier than I remember, actually. I thought I remembered like the professor giving this to me. It's essential if you want to be a good trainer. So now I'll explain a little bit about what Pokegear is if she doesn't do a good job doing it. But this is definitely something I'm going to cover in more detail in the video. Oh, the day of the week isn't set. You mustn't forget that. What day is it? Today is Wednesday. Yes? I'm like so confused. Yes. Is it daylight saving time now? Like, I never know what it means. I always know fall back, spring forward, but I never know which is daylight saving and which is not. So I actually gotta Google this. Are we on daylight saving? I know somebody's just gonna say yes or no in the chat. I think it's no. It's no until spring, and that's yes, right? Are we on daylight saving time now? No. Okay. Yeah, someone said it. No, not currently. I'm gonna talk in your video about the esoteric method Nintendo made to change the time in the start screen, for sure. Any mechanics that were introduced and the development behind it, I will cover. Now, if you guys are gonna ask me questions about that currently in this moment, I haven't done the research yet. I'm excited to. If you guys don't know about like the magic that went into making this game happen, that's something I'm actually very excited to report to you in that video. So like how this works internally, how the clock works, how the gameplay mechanics work in day versus night. Like I'm gonna explain all of that stuff. If you guys noticed in the original video, I made sure like to do like gameplay, then split up like mechanics. Okay, let's stop for a sec. Let's talk about the mechanics. Let's do more gameplay. Let's do some story, mechanics, more lore, story, and then development. So yeah, I plan to tackle all of that. By the way, do you know how to use the phone? No. I'll read the instructions. This is like a Kyocera from back in the day, or is it are we talking Nokia, or is it before that? What year would this be? 2001? I think that was post brick phones, but you're starting to get into like the early Nokia phones at that point. Turn the Pokegear on and select the phone icon. Phone numbers are stored in memory. This is another crazy mechanic. So they're like dishing this all out at the beginning. So the night and day cycles, the time tracking, your Pokegear, which includes a phone, and you'll be able to track phone numbers, and trainers will call you so you can go rematch them. This to me was mind blowing. On a Game Boy, for me at this time, this was mind blowing to me that this is a thing. Just choose a name you want to call. Gee, isn't that convenient? All right, who is this person? This is what I want to find out. I want to know. Why are you just here? I mean, my mom can't have friends. Come on. Good evening, Yannick. I'm visiting. Have you heard? My daughter is adamant about becoming Prof. Elm's assistant. Professor always like trips me up for whatever reason. I don't know why I can't read that properly. She really loves Pokemon. I think this is supposed to be the mother of the female counterpart in this game. There's a movie on TV. Stars dot the sky as two boys ride on a train. I'd better get rolling too. I always remember that the original Boys on a Train track reference on that TV is some Japanese movie. I don't remember the name. I didn't call it out by a name in the original video that I did on Gen 1. This might that sounds like a sequel movie or something, or maybe it's a scene after where they get on the train together. But I have to figure out what the specific movie was that they were referencing. No female counterparts in this game yet. Yes, there are. You can select her at the beginning. This is Pokémon Crystal, so this would be the first time. But as far as like a rival or someone that exists in the world, probably not. I don't know if she exists. Is that what you? If that's what you mean? Since I select a boy, the girl version of this character will not be around in the game whatsoever, as far as I know. Let's see what's in the fridge. Fresh water and tasty lemonade. Yeah, why can't they write the whole damn word? I know, it's all about spacing though. The sink is spotless. Mom likes it clean. So I realize there's a lot more flavor text here. Mom's specialty, Cinnabar Volcano Burger. Very missable flavor text that I'm gonna probably be diving into and figure out if there's any lore bits that they went deep in on. What's going on, man? Yo, Yannick. I heard Professor Elm discovered some new Pokemon. He did? I love how they're discovering new Pokemon like within 2 years of the first game, and then like everywhere else apparently there's a shit ton of Pokemon already existing. I have to like wrap my head around how they managed to like do that in later games, or if they even like cared about that lore. My husband's always so busy. I hope he's okay. When he's caught up in his Pokemon research, he even forgets to eat. Oh, you're playing Crystal version. Yeah. I decided for this video, I will do the playthrough in Crystal. I will talk about it like as Gen 2 as a whole. So, you know, I'm gonna open and talk about maybe the plot. I'll probably do the video as the plot of Crystal, and then just apply what's the same in Gold and Silver, and then what changed. I realized I kind of glossed over it with Pokemon Yellow, even though there's much less changes in Yellow versus Crystal. I think there's a lot more like plot, story-related lore changes for Crystal, or added sections, especially like the legendary dog stuff. So I need to like really get into that. This is actually my first playthrough of Crystal ever. I played Gold. I played Silver as a kid. That was the cartridge I owned, and then later I played Gold for whatever reason on a replay. And then I got I got Soul Silver generations later. When I grow up, I'm gonna help my dad. I'm gonna be a great Pokemon professor. See, they spelt it out there. They spelt out professor. All right. Let's see if I can make headway. This is why I don't stream things, because I end up talking the whole time. When I'm playing games by myself, it's just total game face. Pikachu is an evolved Pokemon. I was amazed by Professor Elm's findings. He's so famous for his research on Pokemon evolution. I wish I could be a researcher like him. And you notice there's like a lot more radios going around, so this is actually going to be an important aspect either. This is going to be an important aspect as well, not either. So you'll be able to use your Pokegear to tune into certain radio stations, which was also crazy, on top of the phone that you got. I mean, it really felt like we're transitioning into like the turn of the millennium, even though like radio is not like a 2000s invention, but you get my point. It felt like the tech was like transitioning out, and we're gonna see that built into like some of these towns later. Professor Oak's Pokemon Talk. Please tune in next time. Pokemon Channel. This is DJ Mary, your co-host. That made no sense, what I just read there, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna make my first save here. Oh yes, the last thing that I wanted to bring up, I might use Turbo in certain moments. I don't know how jarring that is for people watching, but as you guys know, like the time framing, the time it takes to get into a battle and fight a battle, I won't skip a lot of it, but you get my point. Like if I'm there grinding, I might do that to save some time. E.T. Gripper, welcome to the stream. Wow, your Pokegear is impressive. Did your mom get it for you? Why are you patronizing me, madam? All right, so here's our little sneak peek of our rival over here. So this is the famous Elm Pokemon Lab. What are you staring at? Wow, violent. Gabriel Star, welcome to the stream. Here's hoping my donation notifications work. Sometimes it has like a slight delay. If not, then I'm gonna play what should be playing. No notification? What happened to my alert box? Do I gotta fix all that too? All right, I got you, bruv. Here's what you would have seen if that super chat worked. What happens to my alert box, man?
Yo, have you guys been good? Just remember, meet me at the woods to date if I get a kill laugh. I'm living demo grid on the car, get a kill laugh.
There you go. JVMon, thank you for the $10. I appreciate that. As you know, like I've been doing a lot more supportive memberships now, etc., etc. So it's like all of this stuff has been like a huge help and like supporting the channel. People on Patreon, the members on YouTube, and the super chats in stream. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot, and it I don't know. It's very humbling. Thank you. Humbling in a good way. I know there's a good way of using that word, so you get my point. All right. Elm needs me to do a favor for him. I'm conducting new Pokemon research right now. I was wondering if it makes it very hard to read this in like a natural way. Could you help me with it, Yannick? You see, I'm writing a paper that I want to present at a conference, but there are some things I don't quite.
I'll say this. This is my favorite Pokemon game.
Psych, that's the wrong number.
See, it worked then, so why didn't it work for the original? I guess you need to have like words there for it to work. It's so weird. It's funny because I programmed all of that stuff in a long time ago, so I never know what notification is gonna pop up when people super chat. So there's like so many different types. Gabriel Star, thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate you. I appreciate the donations. All right, I feel like I'm missing something here. Okay, my recording's going. I'm probably gonna be so mad at myself later for the recording that I'm gonna edit down, because I'm like, why did you stop so much? Get to the point. All right, so I gotta move. I gotta keep this going. Is this gonna work for my video? All right, so I'd like you to raise a Pokemon that I recently caught. Yes, thanks. You're a great help. When I announce my findings, I'm sure we'll delve a bit deeper into the many mysteries of Pokemon. You can count on it. Oh, hey, I got an email. Email? That's new too. Excuse me. Okay. What's up? Shut up. Hey, listen. I have an acquaintance called Mr. Pokemon. What a name. He keeps finding weird things and raving about his discoveries. Anyway, I just got an email from him saying that this time it's real. It is intriguing, but we're busy with our Pokemon research. Wait, I know. Yannick, can you go in our place? I want you to raise one of the Pokemon contained in these balls. You'll be that Pokemon's first partner. Go on, pick one. Okay. So I'm gonna go through these just so we have this visibility. I love the detailed sprite work here on some of these. The images have gotten so much better when it comes to these Pokemon. But this is, of course, Cyndaquil. You'll take Cyndaquil, the fire Pokemon? No. Think it over carefully. Your partner is important. So what's different here this time around? Actually, there used to be a Pokédex entry, but you would see like the question marks when you looked at Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. So now it's just completely grayed out. So I don't even think you get to like see any of that until you get these or trade them. This is Chikorita. I think Chikorita is actually an interesting looking Pokemon. Like in hindsight, Chikorita looks very strange to me. So you like Chikorita, the grass Pokemon? No. Think it over carefully. Your partner is important. We're going with the freaking GOAT of Gen 2, Totodile. Yes, sir. I'll say this. This is my favorite Pokemon game. I didn't even read the donation, by the way, so my bad. This is my favorite Pokemon game as well, or my favorite generation overall. And I have so many reasons why I'm going to gush to you guys about it as we continue playing. I think I was too old when Pokemon came out. I tried later games and it just wasn't for me. Yeah, it definitely was like for a specific age group. I don't know how many teens when Pokemon came out actually played Pokemon. But then like people my age, so I was 8 when the first game came out, 7 or 8 when it came out in the US. So I was around 10 years old when this came out, and I was all over this. But I think like if you didn't catch the wave then, you probably wouldn't have caught it much later, even though I know there's a lot of audiences that come into it. You see like a huge millennial market for Pokemon these days. These are the people that scream and cry on Twitter all the time about Game Freak's quality and stuff like that. I'm not making a political opinion about what Game Freak is doing, by the way. I'm not taking a stance on any of their development recently. I think Pokemon games have a certain charm to them, and that's why people keep buying them. Can they be better? Yes. Do they have a charm to them now? Yes. So two things can be true at the same time. But I think like, yeah, they've like captured the millennial market, and then it's kind of like dripped down ever since. So I'm sure there's like a huge Gen Z, and then kids are like funneling into it in different ways now too. So, but I think if you were ahead of the Pokemon craze, it's harder to get into retroactively. That's just my vague opinion on that. I was 14 when it came out. Okay, so that makes sense to me, right? But there are a lot of mechanics here, and like game development wise, there's a huge story here to appreciate. Do you want Totodile, the water Pokemon? Yes, give that to me. I think that's a great Pokemon too. All right, I'm gonna sound like an elementary school reading the way that the text is being delivered to me. So I'm not gonna give this a nickname right now. I'm just gonna go with Totodile for now. Mr. Pokemon lives a little bit beyond Cherry Grove, the next city over. It's almost a direct route there, so you can't miss it. But just in case, here's my phone number. Call me if anything comes up. That was a groundbreaking. You used to have to go back to Professor Oak to go talk to him directly, or you had to like talk to him through the PC. There was a way to do that. And I always remember the little PC phones in the Pokemon anime were always so cool to me. Like you could FaceTime on your PC, which I don't think really was a thing until much later. Like Skype revolutionized that stuff. I'm sure there was video calls like prior to that, but yeah, in the 90s, like, you know, video calling wasn't like a huge thing, or I don't even think it was a thing yet. We were barely emailing people at that time. So I remember in the anime, that was super cool. Like you have a PC thing at the Pokemon Center, but it also had like FaceTime capabilities. All right, anyway, if your Pokemon is hurt, you should heal it with this machine. Feel free to use it at any time. All right, you just spoke way too much to me. Or maybe I was talking way too much. So I believe this intro is exactly the same as Gold and Silver. I don't think there's any differences yet. This aid's gonna give me some stuff. I'm gonna try not to read every little thing unless it's important. But I think now we continue to watch as our rival is staring into the window of this lab. But I think we can begin our journey. So I think the setup is a lot faster this time around compared to Gen 1, because you have to go into the grass, Professor brings you back, and then you pick your Pokemon, then you have your first battle, then you have to go to Viridian City, and then you have to bring the parcel back to Professor Oak, and then he gives you the Pokédex. Actually, no, I don't have a Pokédex yet, so maybe let me just shut up and let this ride. All right, so now we've hit Route 29. So if you guys aren't aware, this game takes place in the Johto region, which is a neighboring region to the Kanto region. As I mentioned in the video before, Kanto is based on the real region of Kanto in Japan, where Tokyo is based. So this takes place on the west side in the Kansai region, or this Johto is based on the Kansai region of Japan, where Kyoto and Osaka and those places are. So we'll get to see like little areas in Kansai that are related to a lot of these towns. I know a lot of them aren't one-to-one, but the basic geography takes a lot of inspiration from that. Pokemon hide in the grass. Who knows when they'll pop out? Like my first step into the grass, bruv. Is this a Noctowl? Sorry, I had a Hoot Hoot. Yes. By the way, Gen 1 music is great. Gen 2, such an upgrade, man. I think like just the musical themes in Pokemon. I'm not saying that the rest of the generations don't have good music, but like something about this carries a totally different tone from the rest of the games, and I miss it. And I'm trying to put my finger on it. I used to be a musician, but it's hard for me to describe these things sometimes. So as I play through, I'll tell you like my thoughts on that, and I'll have like a better refined version of that within my actual video, because I do want to talk about the music extensively within this as well. Okay, so we killed our first Pokemon. Killed. Murdered. It's a wild Pokemon, so we can do that to them. I forgot what my objective is. I think I can level up my Totodile like a couple of levels while I catch up on the chat here. I think Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal are flawed in many ways, but they have the best tone and atmosphere of all the games, almost ethereal and liminal. And I think that's kind of like my point with the music. Similar vibe, right? It feels like ethereal. But it feels like darker. It feels like mysterious, more mysterious than Gen 1. And how do you make a game more mysterious than Gen 1? Gen 1 had like all the mysteries in it. But I think they like leaned into it purposefully and made it plot mysterious in Gen 2. So as we get to like the Ruins of the Unknown, I think it's Ruins of Alph is what it's called, and the legendary dogs and stuff like that. I think Crystal kind of unveiled those things, but in the original Gold and Silver, just having them lightly just be in the background. I remember it, like I freaked out when I would go into one of the towers later on in Ecruteak, and you see the dogs and they just like scatter in all directions, and then you have to go out into the world and find them in the grass. Insane. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Did you talk about glitches in your other video? Gonna talk about any glitches like the PC duplication glitch here. I could. In the first one, I did talk about missing no extensively. And I did talk about how glitches were used to stumble on Mew. And when it was initially done in Japan, which Mew wasn't intended to be found. So apparently Game Freak came clean much later on in an interview with Iwata, like when he did one of those Iwata Ask segments. And yeah, it turns out that they didn't expect Mew to be ever found, even though that Mew was in the data. And so someone had a bug and they said, oh, this is like a hidden mystery that they put in the game. And so the rumors spread to the point where they launched that contest in that magazine. And then they had people send in their cartridges, whoever won that contest, and they would add Mew into their party. That's them really like capitalizing on like an unintended bug. So I think that's like probably the most famous bug next to missing no. And that's kind of what helped put Pokemon on the map overall, is those mysteries. So I think for that reason, that's why they leaned into it intentionally this time around. I guess as far as like the duplicates and stuff, I can touch on it. I don't think I'll be using it. I don't think I'll showcase it in the playthrough. I might like just pull some footage on how it's done. But yeah, I think like the technical aspects as to why those glitches occur are actually pretty cool as well. It's funny just knowing that the game was like held together with like gum and duct tape initially, the original red and green versions in Japan, and then they had to refine that code like crazy. All right, let's keep it moving. I think I trained up enough for now. I got a couple of levels here, right? Or after this one, I should have a second one. In my opinion, it's also the result of gaming culture and early internet at that time. So easy to spread rumors, so hard to verify anything. Once you discovered Kanto at the end of the game, anything could happen. Yeah, and so this was around the time where the internet started to become... like there was the internet in the late 90s where you put in like, hey, log into AOL and put in keyword, you know, Cartoon Network, and then you'll pop up on this very, very curated website. This is around the time where browsing started to be like more mainstream and search engines were more mainstream. And so like, you know, sites like GameFAQs, I think, came out in 2001, if not before that. And forums are probably more popular now too. So yeah, I think like this is kind of where mysteries started to dissipate a little bit. I'm not saying they didn't exist. Word of mouth was definitely around still. But yeah, this was around this kind of lost that mystery a little bit. So when you just put it in the game and just make the overall atmosphere of Johto just more mysterious in general, I think they played it right there. That's my opinion. How are your Pokemon? If they're weak and not ready for battle, keep out of the grass. Yeah, the glitch is a lot more precise here. Have to save at just the right time. Then you can do stuff like deposit your starter in the PC, restart the game, and your old starter will be in the PC. Yeah, so that's like cool ways to get around some of the things that are locked in games, or different versions. I have to see who's available in Crystal version. I know the yellow version locked out a lot of Pokemon so that you had to trade with red and blue still, so it didn't make red and blue obsolete. Very interesting way they handled exclusives there. I'm not sure if they did it the same way in Crystal. I have to look at the exclusivity list here. Maybe I'll do that sometime during this stream. All right, so we have a cool little Totodile here. I don't have any Pokeballs yet, right? I think I used my potion a little too early as well. I'm kind of like on autopilot too as I talk through this. Gen 2 has a lot more mysticism and mystery behind this story. And I really enjoy that part too. It also appeals to the older nature of the Kansai region. As you guys probably know, Kyoto was the old capital of Tokyo. Very old city. In that region as well is Nara, which was the capital before Kyoto. So we're talking 1100s where castles were around. So this game very, very much appeals to that mindset where things are almost ethereal and old, which I think is super cool that they leaned into. All right, I have no clue where I'm going, by the way. It's been so long since I played this. I'm sure they're gonna gatekeep me, so I'm just gonna walk until they stop me. Where does this go to the north? I remember to the west is Faulkner's gym. Faulkner. See those ledges? It's scary to jump off of them, but you can go to New Bark without walking through the grass. Violet City, I think, is where this game really opens up. All right, so yeah, this really just wasted my time and put me right back to where I was. Man, I used to have this whole place memorized. Gen 1, I know at the back of my hand. This game I played so much, I've had it memorized, and now it's been so long. And even playing the Soul Silver has kind of upset my idea of what the map looks like in my head. So I'm kind of relearning all of this. Route 29, Cherry Grove City is where we're going. I wonder why I couldn't go to the north then. Let's see what they stopped me from going there. I'm just experimenting with a few things here. Can I take berries from this yet? Yes, I can. Very nice. This is also cool, a little mechanic that you have. You can pick from trees now, and berries. Pokemon can now hold items, which is not a Gen 2 thing. So many mechanics. Less Pokemon overall in Gen 1 than Gen 1. I think they upgraded to... Man, what was after the Johto count? I have to remember. But there's a lot less Pokemon exclusive to Johto. But in doing so, they improved so many mechanics. They added types, battle mechanics. I don't know if this is where they introduced special attacks or they split up special attacks and physical attacks. I think that it might have been Ruby and Sapphire, but I'll have to double check. It's hard. Sometimes I get very confused of what happened in Gen 2 and Gen 3, but just overall mechanics of what's going on behind the scenes, they clean up a lot of stuff. And then things like berries and apricots that you have later on. Yeah, the list goes on. All right, so let's head into Cherry Grove. I did a complete Pokédex run, only missing gold, silver, crystal Pokemon are Remoraid line, Marip line, and Girafarig. Red, blue, yellow is starters, legendaries, fossils, and Vulpix and Mankey lines. Are you keeping them in Pokemon Home? Is that still a thing? Do they still call it Pokemon Home? Is it? Am I mixing it up with something else? Gen 4 was physical special split. Man, look at me. I'm behind on the times. But this is where they added the, this is when they split up the stats. That's right. So there's now special attack and special defense. In Gen 1, it's just special, which manages both your special attack and defense. Strange decision at the time, but I'm guessing that's literally from, you know, constraints. They're still in Pokemon Bank. I haven't transferred them to Home yet. Yeah, I've never used Pokemon Bank or Home. I have all of my old Pokemon sitting on the hard drives of all of my old cartridges and DS sitting somewhere. I still have my original Soul Silver game. I have my Silver game here somewhere. I have the cartridge still and all that stuff. All right, so here's our first major town of Cherry Grove. The city of cute, fragrant flowers. Fragrant. That's a very hard word to say sometimes. Let me go ahead and say, save here. Good evening, you're out late. Welcome to our Pokemon Center. I mean, 6:45 is not that late. Nurse Joy, come on. Some of the strongest memories of Pokemon from childhood was hacking in the secret items in Diamond to get the legendaries. Seeing the green guy in the mart who gave you the item felt so surreal. Man, that was a time. Diamond and Pearl was its own thing, especially when you had Wi-Fi capability at that point. Now, I was in high school at that point. I think it was like my 10th grade year, and that was huge. Like, that was a wrap for the classrooms, man, because you could just battle in class as long as you're hiding under your desk and like the teachers pretend like you're not doing it. As long as you got your work done. That was the point of all of it. This upstairs in the Poke Center, by the way, Pokemon Center has like been ingrained in my memory, where I assumed that there were stairs upstairs in Gen 1 when I replayed it recently. But this is where they move all of the functionality, link cable connection stuff. And I think this is what's called a time capsule, and you can actually pull in Pokemon from red, blue, yellow, from this little selection here. I'm sorry, the time capsule is being adjusted. So this was a cool feature. So you could still like keep your Pokemon from Generation 1. Now I'm not sure if it was limited to a certain set, but I know that this game supports all Pokemon available up until this point. So I believe you can catch them all still in Gen 2. And then this is where you would battle folks, and this is where you would trade. Yes, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the time machine was always broke, man. I never actually got to use the time machine. I didn't have like, it was, for me, it was like, I don't know if this was hard for everybody else, but it was very hard for me to find people who had Game Boys and link cables. And I never like asked for a link cable. I always wanted one. But then I would always pick like another game over the link cable. It's like if I had to make a decision between a link cable or a different game, I would always go for the different game. But I didn't know a lot of people in the wild, or I didn't have a lot of opportunities to trade with people. And by the time I got to Silver, I was mostly like single player mode, you know what I mean? Pokemon gain experience in battle and change their form. Okay, so you're telling me the basics I already know. Pokemon change? I'd be shocked if one did that. Where have you been? She's been living under a rock. I think now's a good time to look at the Pokegear, actually. So right now I only have my cell phone, but let's give it a test call. I'm gonna go ahead and call my mom. Hello? Oh, hi. You're on a big mission for Professor Elm. Be good. Click. I'm busy. Back then, if you had a complete Pokedex, most people used Game Shark to hack them in. Your parents were buying like 3 games a year in the 90s. No shot we were asking for a link cable. Exactly. So that was literally what I went through. So I'm like, could I get a Game Boy game? I'm at Best Buy. So I'm not going to give them Sonic Adventure for Dreamcast and the link cable and then a memory card. It was priorities, man. You had to prioritize. If I'm going to ask for something, I want to be able to I didn't have a VMU for the Dreamcast for the longest. Am I gonna ask for a link cable for Pokemon Gold and Silver over a save functionality for Sonic Adventure and Power Stone and all this stuff? No way. I'm going for the VMU, bruv. You know, so also, yeah, that was a reminder for everybody to go call their mom if they can. Yes. Okay. You're a rookie trainer, aren't you? I can tell. That's okay. Everyone is a rookie at some point. If you'd like, I can teach you a few things. Let's do this for the sake of my gameplay footage. This is a Pokemon Center. Oh, this is a tour. This is not... I thought this was what the old man did in the first game. Whatever, I'll let him give me a tour. I always like this song, by the way. This is a dope little song. This... I think they use this in every generation. It's never changed. This is a Pokemon Mart. They sell balls for catching wild Pokemon and other useful items. Route 30 is out this way. Trainers will be battling their prized Pokemon there. This is water. This is the sea, as you can see. Whenever I see something clever like that, by the way, I always know some localization guy was behind it, and I give props to that. Because the Japanese tend to speak in puns and rhymes, and like haikus are a thing for a reason, because they've always like nobles and literary figures who were like big back in the day, like in the 1500s and stuff. Literacy and writing was very important, and those types of things, that's where puns came out of, and haikus and timing and rhythm and words and stuff like that. So when I see things like that in English, I know for a fact that there's a specific clever thing that was written in Japanese that some localization guy was like, I want to keep the cadence, so here's what I'm going to do. It's always fascinating to see. Like I really appreciate localization teams, the ones who do a good job at least and don't phone it in. Some Pokemon are found only in water. Thanks for that, sir. Let's keep it moving. Real winners beat every game they sit down to play without stopping. No need for a memory card. Shout out to my people who got a PlayStation 2 with Final Fantasy X and had that shit cooking in the middle of the night, because you cannot stop. You're not starting this whole adventure over, right? I remember I got as far as... Man, I think it was Luca, where you do the first Blitzball tournament, and I think that's like about 8 hours in, depending on how much you're playing and how much you're grinding up. And somebody turned my shit off in the middle of the night. I was so pressed. My gosh. Here, this is my house. Come on in. You know, you young little man. No, I'm just kidding. Let me give you a small... Oh, I get a gift for this? A map card. I'm actually glad I did this. Okay. If there's one thing in the Pokemon world, is everybody's super nice. You should talk to as many NCPs as possible in Pokemon games. They give you shit, man. They give you shit. Even to this day. It's always worth talking to every person in every village, because you never know what you're gonna get. Give me more stuff, old man. When I was a wee lad, I was a hotshot trainer. Here's a word of advice. Catch lots of Pokemon. Treat them all with kindness. That didn't stop me from catching like 20 Pokemon as a kid and just moving forward to the level 99 for alligator. I did not care. Alright, when I was walking in the grass, a bug Pokemon poisoned my Pokemon. I just kept going, but then my Pokemon fainted. You should keep an antidote with you. Alright, so a lot of this stuff is like tutorial stuff that we all know. They're out of Pokeballs here. Okay, so I can't catch before they're ready to have me catch. Good news is, like, I'll buy a couple of antidotes. I'm not gonna waste too much money. It's rare that I get poisoned where I have to use that right now. But I will get some potions. I think that's a wise investment for now, especially in early stages. Yeah, we were broke, so we never bought a link cable. My rich friends had it though. How expensive was that shit now that I think about it? It just, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, like a wire cannot be that expensive. But if Nintendo was gatekeeping the fuck out of these Pokemon, then they probably upsold the shit out of that. I I'm very curious as well. If someone could, you know what, let's do this. Original price of Game Boy Link cable, because it seems like everybody here is on the same page with me. What were the original prices of the Game Boy Link cable? And I'll adjust for inflation. Original Game Boy Link cables retailed for a low price, often bundled or sold for roughly $10 to $15 in the early 90s. That doesn't seem right to me. So that translates to about $30 if you adjust for inflation. Or are we above that now? Is inflation like wild? Inflation calculator. In my head, I just double everything, but this might be different now. So if in 1990 I purchased an item for $15, it'd be $32. I'm not saying that's chump change, but at the same time, man, why we always went for another game instead, which is probably like twice the cost. Or maybe it just felt like a fuck you to the parents. It's like, I want this game and I want this. So then we just didn't ask for it, and we like, you know, we're like strategic with it. I don't know. It's my thoughts on that. No one was doing lemonade stands in the Bronx in the 90s, not with those bodegas having those little quarter drinks. Shout out to the quarter drinks, man. Growing up in Miami, we had to like hunt those down. It was always the ice cream trucks that had them. The shady ice cream trucks that were like posted up outside the schools after school. I think that was the only way we could do it. That's why I love the conveni culture in Japan whenever I go. I'm just like, man, I can go into there's a 7-Eleven and a Family Mart everywhere. This is crazy. And yeah, like, you know, bodegas are a watered down form of that, but just being in the streets of New York where they're everywhere, you're never craving anything is what I mean. It's just like there's something always available. In Miami, we had these, you know, it's still to this day, there's just long streets. You have to drive everywhere. And I'm sure that's a lot of towns in the US as well. You know, Pokemon eat berries. Well, my Pokemon got healthier by eating a berry. Here, I'll share one with you. Oh, thank you. This is before there were different types of berries, huh? Now that I'm trying to remember. Maybe later. Maybe that's just a standard berry and there's more later. But so, yeah, a mechanic here that you can do that's introduced for the first time is having a Pokemon hold an item. Though it looks like my Totodile was holding something. What were you holding? Oh, you were holding a berry already. So they're forcing you to understand that mechanic by just automatically giving the starter Pokemon a berry. So I'm going to give that to him, but I think there's items later on that will improve his stats or like overall attacks and stuff like that, which is a very, very cool mechanic that's still around to this day. There's stuff later like Pan Cure Berry and Priz Cure Berry, which I guess is Paralyzed Cure. Yeah, they weren't very nicely named back in the day. Yes, Oran Berry and Person Berry. So that was Gen 3 where that happened. I'm gonna take this man's berry. Oh, there's nothing here. All right, let's keep moving then. Spinnerack. Man, I would sure love to catch some Pokemon right about now, but I guess I can't. So I'm just gonna kill everything that comes my way. Don't poison my Totodile. Oh, shit. Well, I'm glad I bought those antidotes. I think it was less price and more convincing parents to buy something they didn't understand. Do you want this stupid cable or a game for your birthday? Pick. I think that's what it is. It's like, and just being so far out from my childhood, like I have a very vivid memory of my childhood, right? And the bargaining that I had to do sometimes. And, you know, granted, like you don't know your parents' financial situation growing up and stuff like that. And they try to instill these lessons in on you early. So, but I think like, oh, Ray Cheney, thanks for the sub. What was I saying? So yeah, like, it's hard to remember the bargaining, like the business pitch that you had to give your parents sometimes for like things that they didn't fully understand. So video games being new at that time, I had to convince my parents. I remember I bargained with my parents on the PlayStation 2. I'm like, hey, look, this thing, not only is it the best gaming system out there, it has a DVD player on it. You're getting a DVD player that you can use it at any time if you want. I'll set it up for you, but you're getting a DVD player at a discount, and I can game with it. So, what do you guys think about getting that for me? If I manage to get all of these grades to straight A's, so like these hanging B's that are over here, if I get in the midterms straight A's, can I do that? And the answer is okay. We'll think about it, which is not a confirmed yes, but. I remember that's how I bargained my PlayStation 2, and I did end up getting it for that reason. So, like, you have to think of the business proposition, and that translates into real skills when you grow up, you know? Like, if you ever need your boss to sign off on something at work, you got to present the why. Why does this matter? You know? Come on, you guys have experience doing that with your parents back in the day when it came to link cable. So that's a good point. All that to say, it's a good point. All right, some of this stuff I'm gonna, oops. Oh, I can't use turbo mode right now. Let me check my recording too. I'm sure it's like a very shitty recording for a YouTube video. So I'm gonna have to parse through that later on, and that's totally fine. I'm gonna do it in like hour-long bits. So my first recording's about 1 hour and 6 minutes, and then we're gonna start the next one. So the way I chunked these up in my previous video is gym battles. So I would gate it behind a gym battle and then maybe getting to the next town. So I did full towns like within each chunk of recording. So I'm gonna do, that should have included Faulkner, but you know what? I don't care. That was 1 hour long. I'm just glad it worked while I'm streaming at the same time. This is like a technological marvel for me right now, because I never used to be able to have like good recordings come out of streaming. So thank God for my new PC upgrades, which is not cheap nowadays, man. This market for recreational gaming is tough. I will tell you guys that much. AI is destroying our hobbies bit by bit. Mentok level parent negotiations right there. Absolutely. I love this Poliwag sprite. Oh my gosh. Even though it's a little bit blacker than it should be, I think Poliwag is more blue, though it does make sense to be this color because a tadpole is this color. But I do love this sprite. This actually looks really cool. I love the tail, like just the details on the tail and stuff. So as you guys see, like with all these color palettes, they can now put like they can emphasize shadows and things like that. Like if you look at Totodale's arm, they're using white to kind of differentiate and put some shine on him and stuff like that. That's a really cool use of the Game Boy Color, and minimal at the same time. All right, I'm going to make progress. I think I'm going the wrong way. Who lives here? Is this Mr. Pokemon? This is who I'm supposed to go see. I'm taking your berries, sir, for the inconvenience. Poison Kerberry. All right, we got that. Are you gonna stream Resident Evil 9 when it comes out? Absolutely, yes. Man, what day is that? It's gonna be a rough February. I'm actually going on my honeymoon in March. After a whole year, I finally have time to like get around to that. I guess I've like explained a lot of this on the channel. Last year was like, it was crazy because I had to move. My dad passed and I got married prior to that. So like in the midst of all of that, never even had a chance to really plan out a honeymoon. So I'm doing like an anniversary honeymoon type situation. So that's going to be in March. I'm hoping to get this video out prior to me leaving. Otherwise, I don't know what I would post on the channel before then. So that's why I'm doing these streams. I'm holding myself accountable. What was the question I was asked? Resident Evil. Resident Evil 9 comes out on I know it's later. Yeah, the 27th. So maybe that could be like a celebratory stream that I can do if I finish this freaking video. I have, what, 3 weeks to get this done? I think I can do it. I'm going to do it. Thank you, Sora4440. I appreciate the well wishes. Oh, I missed your other message. My love for JRPGs came from getting one game a year. Since JRPGs were longer, that game could last me a year. You were thinking strategically. I think Pokemon was probably my first JRPG in a traditional sense. Final Fantasy VII was the first one I watched my friend play, and then he lent me the game. And then the first one I owned was Final Fantasy VIII. So I was playing, my first RPG was at 9 years old, like core RPG. And figuring out, like, probably not a good starting point, to be honest, because it's not, I don't think Final Fantasy VIII is traditional at all. Hello, you must be Yannick. Professor Elm said that you would visit. This is what I wanted Prof. Elm, I'm going to say Prof. Elm from now on, to examine. A mystery egg? I forgot about this. This is Togepi, isn't it? I know a couple who run a Pokemon daycare service. They gave me that egg. I was intrigued, so I sent mail to Prof. Elm. For Pokemon evolution, Prof. Elm is the authority. Even Professor Oak here, I guess I'm just used to saying Professor Oak and not Professor Elm, recognizes that. Oh my god, jump scare, Professor Oak? If my assumption is correct, Professor Elm would know it. Hey! He's got his little remix theme song now too. Sounds like you gotta do a video on romance in video games then. I think like my recent video about Sonic and Shadow kind of inspired me to take a look back on what I really appreciated about games. And I love good storytelling overall. And I think playing these games I grew up with has inspired me to look more under that lens. I want to be the, you know, I'm doing this traditionally, right? I'm going to do this video with developer stories and the mechanics and stuff like that and kind of walk through the story. I think I hinted at it in Gen 1 as well, like how they made a good story with less. This definitely has some great story moments that I remember, but I'm not going to take a cutscene and analyze it and stuff like I did with the Sonic video, but all that to say, like, I've been inspired by that video to kind of take a look at themes that really spoke to me growing up and then playing them as I'm an older person and what it means to me now. I recently played, I'm playing Persona 3 Reload on my time off. I played the original game when I was in my junior year of high school, and that was like a pivotal moment of change from one phase of life to the next. I feel like I'm in a very similar pivotal change from one phase of my life to the next. And playing it as like a high school student versus like an adult who's going into that next phase of adulthood, a lot of those the game's themes speak to me and like everything just connected. And I just sat there like kind of in awe of like how just playing a game again completed a whole arc for me and how I like perceived that game. So I would love to do more videos about that. And same thing that happened with like Sonic Adventure and stuff like that. I'm excited to like explore videos like that. And I think it's less effort on my part. And I can do that in between these longer deep dives that you guys are seeing. Oak. I'm Professor Oak, a Pokemon researcher. I was just visiting my old friend, Mr. Pokemon. I heard you were running an errand for Professor Elm, so I waited here. Oh, what's this? A rare Pokemon? Let's see. I see. I understand why Prof. Elm gave you a Pokemon for this errand. To researchers like Professor Elm and I, Pokemon are our friends. He saw that you would treat your Pokemon with love and care. How did he get that from... Well, I guess it's assumed that he's known me for a few years. Ah, you seem to be dependable. How would you like to help me out? See? This is the latest version of Pokédex. Oh, he gives me the Pokédex. There you go. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Is XC Xenoblade Chronicles? Is that what you're referring to there? I asked my mom to import a copy of Mother 3, which I couldn't even read if I placed well at a track meet, and I ran so hard that I puked. I hope that she imported it for you. I did try to emulate that game, by the way, and I think playing it on emulator, there was always like input lag with the controller, so I was like terrible at it. So I had to like be intentionally off beat to get the right combos in Mother 3. So I still have not played Mother 3 definitively, which I would love to do someday too, because I remember the story was awesome. Go meet many kinds of Pokemon and complete that Pokédex. But I've stayed too long. I have to get to Goldenrod for my usual radio show. Look at Professor Oak with his fancy freaking podcast now. Yannick, I'm counting on you. Thanks, Professor Oak. You're returning to Professor Elm? Here, your Pokemon should have some rest. Oh, thank you, Mr. Pokemon. What a douchebag naming yourself Mr. Pokemon. There's so many other capable people out there aside from you. Why would you get to be the definitive Mr. Pokemon? All right, what's on your PC? A whole pile of strange coins. Maybe they're from another country? She did import it for you. It was worth the puking. Well, I hope you got the concept of it. There was a fan translation that came out later, and I think there was a way to put it onto your cartridge, though I'm sure like that required a lot of technical expertise that younger people did have the time to sit down and take care of. I remember to play Mother 3, I actually hacked my Wii remote to make it work with Bluetooth on my laptop back in the day, and it required like a bunch of extensions and like some crazy work, man. When you have time on your hands, anything is possible. Time and the will. Oh, you'd already played it. Okay, I get it. Makes sense. Amazing fan translation, by the way. I missed fan projects like that. There's a lot of passion back in the day with fan translations. They still do them. We're seeing a lot more things get localized these days, but of course there's always things from Japan and Asia that you never were fully translated or crossed over in a meaningful way. Oh, who's calling me? Professor Elm, okay. Hello, Yannick? It's a disaster. It's just terrible. What should I do? Oh, please get back here now. Don't talk to me that way. Jeez. Disaster. Sounds like he's being killed. We gotta go save him. Professor Elm is being murdered right now. That's my assumption. When anyone makes a call like that and then hangs up before explaining, I'm thinking it's a medical emergency. So let's see if it fits the bill when we get there. I want Starfy fan translated. Is that available on Nintendo Switch Online right now? I believe there are 3 games for the Game Boy Advance thing that they ported over, but I don't know if it's translated. Hey, it's our new rival. Welcome to the stream, rival. Yes, sir. This guy is actually very interesting. I know people are kind of like more prone to Blue or Gary. I found this one pretty interesting. I'm curious to see if my memories of him line up. You got a Pokemon at the lab. I'll just name him Silver in this case. What a waste. A wimp like you? Don't you get what I'm saying? Well, I too have a good Pokemon. I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna let that ride for a bit. I gotta take all these boss songs in. Hey, that's so good. That's so good. I don't know. If you guys have the ear, you know what I'm talking about. You already know. You either have it or you have it, or you don't or you don't. That made no sense, but you get what I mean. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. That's what I meant to say. All right, let's fuck up his Chikorita. The sprites in this game are just like awesome. It's like such an upgrade. Seeing the original sprites from the original Japanese version of Gold, not Gold, Red and Green, like some of them are choppy, but I think like what we got in the US, like a lot of them were unnecessary. Like a lot of the updates were unnecessary. But this is like, I think where Pokemon streamlined all the designs. I think basically what you see in Gold and Silver is no different what you see for today. For a lot of these designs overall. All right. Is Rage any good? See, some of these like attacks, I don't know like how, if they've aged well or if they aged poorly. So like sometimes I just have to try things out from back in the day. Let's go at Rage. So I know my Rage gets more powerful each time I use it. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so it's safer to do that. And I think Totodile is a physical attacker, but I'm not sure how his stats are distributed this time around. So we'll see if that works. Hey, look at that. Easy win. Attack and defense clearly higher than special attack and special defense, but mostly balanced here. And he's gonna be slower, but that's what I've expected. Butch McPorksaw. I love that freaking name. Oh man. Loved your Castlevania videos. Thank you so much, man. That was I don't know what I went through to make those. I don't know how I did that, but it was sometimes just magic just happens. And I look back at those like super fondly, and I'm glad I picked Castlevania this year. I learned so much, you know, just as being like a casual spectator of that series, I had a genuine interest to see like how that evolved and what the changes were from Japan and over here. And what a story. I can't wait for that series to come back in a big way, and I hope it does. But thanks for watching that. Like that was a very, very dear passion project. My name's question mark. Did he really just say that to me? I'm gonna be the world's greatest. How do you think that's interpreted in real life? Did he just say like, did he say a different, like a name in a different language? I'm gonna be the world's greatest Pokemon trainer. Get the f out my way. That's actually hilarious that they gave him question marks. Okay. So now we're gonna go see Professor Elm, who said 911, come back, quick. I look forward to seeing where Iga takes the Bloodstained series. I'm excited for that sequel. I hope that it's an evolution in the right direction. I don't think I can ever get tired of like a Castlevania, Igavania style game, especially with all the items that are there. That's like super interesting compared to other Metroidvania titles that are out there and on the market, like Hollow Knight and stuff like that. I'm not knocking those games, but just something about Castlevania just feels like the right medium. Bloodstained by extension. And I think, yeah, whatever's next for it, this is a prequel game coming out next. As long as they build on the original and just make sure like, you know, the animations are much smoother and you put more time into it, which I think now they have probably a bigger budget for this title. I think Ego will do a good job. It's just like, what does the next version of that look like? If you really give Ego time to like take this in and figure it out, like what will he deliver now that he doesn't have the constraints at Konami anymore? I heard a Pokemon was stolen here. I was just getting some information from Professor Elm. Apparently, it was a young male with long red hair. What? I'm talking to a cop right now, actually. That's pretty cool. You battled a trainer like that. Did you happen to get his name? Okay, so so he told me his name. And so I'm interpreting it. His name will be Silver in all caps. We'll do it that way. I think everyone's accustomed to him just being Silver, so why not? Yeah, he told me his name was question mark, for real. I feel like I'm blocking some of the text. I think I'm probably better up here. Let me do it that way. Okay, so Silver was his name-o. Thanks for helping my investigation. I feel like I should have gone with question mark. That would have been funny. But it's fine. All right, Professor Elm, this is terrible. Oh yes, what was Mr. Pokemon's big discovery? I handed the mystery egg over. This? But it's a Pokemon egg. If it is, it's a great discovery. What? Professor Oak gave you a Pokédex? Yannick, is that true? That's incredible. He is superb at seeing the potential of people as trainers. You may have what it takes to become the champion. You seem to be getting on great with Pokemon too. I feel like I just need to click faster so I can read faster. You should take the Pokemon Gym Challenge. The closest gym would be the one in Violet City. Yannick, the road to the championship will be a long one. Before you leave, make sure that you talk to your mom. That's all I have to say. Professor Elm, out. I gave him the Heisenberg voice for whatever reason. Use these on your Pokédex quest. Oh, here's my first Pokéball. I think I named my rival Ray. I think that was the first suggestion, so I ran with it. Was that a suggestion on screen? Oh boy. Sorry, I'm having memory issues in Chrome. They're saying too much stuff is happening. Hopefully that's not affecting my recording. I don't think it is. I'm gonna close a couple of tabs just in case. It shouldn't affect the stream, but if you guys see like lag, just let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this for now. I don't think I need it. Okay. To add to your Pokédex, you have to catch Pokemon. Throw Pokeballs at wild Pokemon to get them. Alright, so I have balls now. That's a weird thing to say like out of context. But now I remember the pack, if you guys remember, another upgrade from Gen 1 to 2, items were all in one bag in Gen 1. In Gen 2 you have pockets, so consumable items are in one, and then you have like a ball pocket, and then I think later on you'll have key items, and then oh yeah, so they show all of them here, and then a pocket for TM and HM. Remove Copilot. Yeah, I always find myself clicking Copilot by mistake, and I'm like, why is this here? I don't need this. I didn't ask for a Copilot. I pilot solo. All right. Elm's really getting ahead of himself here. Yeah, I know. He's just promising. Like you look like you have what it takes to be a champion with your one level 8 Totodile, level 9. Close enough. I'm gonna go see my mom before we go. Who is? Oh, she's in the kitchen. Okay. What happened to your friend? Wow, that's a cute Pokemon. Where did you get it? So you're leaving on an adventure. Okay, I'll help too. But what can I do for you? I know, I'll save money for you. So another new mechanic. Your mom will save money for you, Earthbound style. I don't know if it was in Mother 1. I can't remember if like saving money was part of that. But definitely like a dad over the phone type thing. It could have inspired this overall. All those people work together. On a long journey, money's important. Do you want me to save your money? Yes. Okay, I'll take care of your money. Be careful. Pokemon are your friends. You need to work as a team. Now go on. I don't know. I forgot how the money saving worked. I don't know. Oh, I think she takes a fraction of every battle that you win. So it's like literally your mom like handling some of your finances as you win battles. I think you send some back to your mom, and then that way you have like a little accumulation of stuff. Now, only if she added interest, that would be nice. Well, yeah, I've never lost a battle, so I'm on my way to become champion, right? Okay, so now we can go get our first gym badge. Hey, I've seen you a couple times. How many Pokemon have you caught? Would you like me to show you how to catch Pokemon? Sure, do it for the video. Let's go. Love this sprite here, like this random guy. Hey, you look like you, dude. Uses the ball. I love how I just call him dude. So some dude is helping you. He's not even gonna give me his name. See? You learn it, you know what's going on? Cool. That's how you do it. If you weaken them first, Pokemon are easier to catch. Thanks, dude. So helpful and less rambly than that old man from the first game who needed his coffee, aka needed to sleep off his hangover. True story, by the way. All right, let's head over to Violet City. Now I can start kind of like mentally planning out my team. I missed an item here before. I would love some suggestions from chat on like some starters. I think like since it's nighttime, I have a limited pool of who I can catch. I'm not against Hoot Hoot. I think what Gen 2 has like the weakest flying type. The Noctowl is flying psychic. I don't remember it being a key part of my team. But just for the sake of catching and building out the team a little bit, I'm gonna go with this. No team planning, Nuzlocke it. I can't Nuzlocke run a video that I gotta get out in less than a month, unfortunately. Wait, do I have a Pokemon? Oh yeah, I do. They did give me some. All right, go ahead. I always thought this mechanic was cute. I wish more games gave the parents something to do like this one, and then Gen 3 with Norman. Yeah, I think that's always like awesome. I think Earthbound was always like super wholesome where your dad's never around, but you can always give him a call and he's always available on the phone. So like I always think of, when I think of Ness's dad, I think of that black rotary phone every time. But the money that he saved just came in clutch so much. And then like, I don't like some of the advice that he gives along the way. It's like charming. I do like that too. If you're gonna have an arc with a kid coming of age, I think the parents should have like that type of role. So I love that they did more with the mom here, other than like, oh, welcome back, you can rest a little bit here. So she's actually like doing stuff for you here, and then you can call her and get different dialogue each time. So that's pretty cool. It begins to hoot at the same time every day. Some trainers use them in place of clocks. I remember that was actually in the anime. There was like a hoot hoot clock. There's a Noctowl clock. I can't remember. Hoot Hoot will join my team. Game Boy Color was the best. I've played Game Gallery, Game & Watch Gallery, or is it Game Gallery Watch? I think it's Game & Watch Gallery. WWF Betrayal, NASCAR F1 Grand Prix games. I was about 4 years old playing those, still playing them on emulator to this day. Game Boy Color was a very solid system, in my opinion. My first title on this console was Link's Awakening DX, which added like a whole new dungeon and the whole game was in color and it was gorgeous. No wasted space in that version of the game. It was awesome. Okay. I said, yeah, team recommendations. I enjoyed Hoot Hoot back in the day. Zatu's Psychic can be really strong. I do remember Zatu was a strong pick, and I think the Elite Four ended up like utilizing him, and the evolved form. I should probably like train up the Hoot Hoot as well. I'd say Heracross, but need Headbutt. I remember a Pidgey clock in the first episode too. Maybe that was a thing. Maybe I'm mixing up the two, but I definitely remember like different Pokemon as clocks. Gen 2 had bad flying types, and then they give you Skarmory. It's locked in the end game. Skarmory was like, here's a aerial tank, but we're not gonna give it an evolved form, and you get it late game. But that was I remember that was like their huge like selling card for the next generation of Pokemon cards back in the day. Like Skarmory was like everywhere. But yes, Steel Flying, man, what a combo. Heracross does not have a good move pool in Gen 2. It's good at fighting. Stab is reversal. There's always Rattata, but everyone knows this guy sucks. But I'm gonna catch it just to fill out my Pokedex a bit. I don't intend to catch every Pokemon, as a heads up. Now, in this game, do I get experience for catching a Pokemon? Because that was not something in Gen 1 that I realized was very inconvenient sometimes. Let's see. If it's not in this game, I'm curious to when they added that, where you get experience. Shit. Hey! You're not supposed to break out. You're level 2, stupid. Is it even worth me throwing again? Let's try it. Experience for catching is Gen 6 onward. Well, thanks for that. So this is like pointless for my Hoot Hoot, and it's gonna get fainted now. Oh, you stupid. Should we risk it? Should he go for the kill? Oh no, he's faster than me. Man, I played with fire. Oh well, that's fine. It's crazy that this stupid thing broke 2 of my Pokeballs. Normally I'd be pissed off, but I'm enjoying my time streaming this with you guys because of the fond childhood memories and nothing beyond that. So, I'm just kidding. All right, we're gonna stay chill. Let's keep the motion flowing. We're back in Cherry Grove. We'll do a quick heal up at the Pokemon Center. Nurse Joy will remind me that I'm out late once again, but that's fine. We can keep pushing past that. Thank you, Nurse Joy. I wonder if it's worth getting that Poliwag, but then I have water coverage already with Totodile, so it seems silly to go do all of that, but maybe just to go like get him in the Pokedex. Like I'm not against like filling out the Pokedex a little bit. I know I'm not gonna catch everything, but I'm also kind of broke. But let's get more. There's stuff like Espeon, since Alakazam is trade only. I remember Espeon is the better of the two between Espeon and Umbreon, even though Umbreon has like a cooler design. I was more partial to Espeon. I think it's more versatile. Then there's Lapras or Jinx with Odd Egg, Electabuzz, Houndoom, Dragonite, Lapras. What are some easy quick wins then I can get, like as far as a wild Pokemon? I'm pretty sure I can sweep Violet City's gym with Totodile at the right level, so I don't think I'm too worried about that. Spinarak is just a bug Pokemon. I think this is when I need to start turboing it. This shit moves too slow for me. I have a 2026 ADHD brain. Let's go. Man, this Hoot Hoot is abhorrent. I know it's only level 2, but man, just not making any gains on this. Early game, Geodude, Trade Onyx are fine. They're useful to use against Whitney. Oh yeah, I remember Whitney's everybody's Achilles heel at the like early game. Female Machop's good against Whitney as well. Oh yeah, I know another thing introduced in this game, by the way, is like official sexes of Pokemon. So there was like, you know, minor versions of this with Nidoran. I think Nidoran was the only one from the OG. But now they spread that across all Pokemon at this point. I'm not sure what the difference is between them here, but if you're mentioning female Machops are good against Whitney, oh, and breeding, yes. So breeding and then eggs and walking around with eggs and stuff, which is a huge deal. Like breeding was like, this is how you get perfect IV runs and EV runs. And I think this is where official effort values were introduced, or maybe that might have been Gen 3. I still have to get my research done on the specifics of all of it. Did that heal? How come that didn't work? There we go. Females are better against Whitney because of Attract. Yes, okay. So there were like specific moves, like Attract, that would work against the opposite sex. And then of course breeding. Hey, first trainer battle, let's go. I just lost, so I'm trying to find more Pokemon. Wait, you look weak. Come on, let's battle. Where is youngster Joey at? Because I know it's this game. Is this him? It is youngster Joey, yes! Yes. Yes. All that shit that you just talked. I forgot youngster Joey looked this intimidating. Did they do a sprite change for Crystal? I'm not sure. All right, let's go. Level 2 Hoot Hoot, get him. I'm just kidding. We're doing the switch out method. I think there's Ghastly and Sprout Tower if you need a ghost. So I definitely tend to lean into like psychic types, ghost types. I forget how useful ghost types are in this. I think poison kind of gets a boost in Gen 2. I have to remember what changed, and if they added like poison moves. There are a lot of freaking poison Pokemon in Gen 1. It's ridiculous. Hoot Hoot grew to level 3. Look at that, our boy's growing up. Gen 1 and Gen 2 had DVs, determinant values, from 0 to 15, which became IVs from 0 to 31 in Gen 3. They also had stat experience, which became EVs from Gen 3. Stat experience are weird to explain. Okay, so yeah, I did cover stat experience in my Gen 1 video, so I think it carries over to Gen 2. So yeah, I don't have to have the EV conversation for this video. That's kind of a relief. So I'll wait till I get to the eventual Gen 3. Biggest jerk in Johto is youngster Joey. You're a Pokemon trainer, right? Then you have to battle. It's not an option. I'm holding you at gunpoint, bruv. You could easily change that to a gun in his hand. Idea for a gag in my video. I love this Pidgey sprite. It looks so good. Like, ugh, it's crazy how much that has evolved in the last, between the 3 years between this game and Red and Blue. I'm gonna keep switching out until Hoot Hoot learns something good, because Tackle sucks. Ghosts are decent in Gen 2. Ghost for some reason is a physical type, even though all ghosts have higher special attacks. Ghost can't really utilize stab in Gen 2 or 3. Yeah, like so I point that out in my video as well. Like the Ghastly through Gengar, man, what wasted potential there. And also giving them dual types for poison just ruined their whole appeal. And I always watched the show and I was always confused why they didn't work for me in the games. And it wasn't much later until I realized why. Like, it's not that I was ignorant to it up until, but like, you know, doing research now, like you realize like a lot of the shortcomings of the original game. And it's kind of crazy, like the oversight for ghost types, man. That was the biggest wasted potential in Gen 1. And they were hyped up so much in the show. All right, so we have a level 10 here working for us. That's good. Ghost use stab in Gen 3. Bannet and Shedinja use physical ghost stab pretty well. Yeah, so it wasn't until those were introduced where you actually had like viable, you know, physical moves with ghost, or stat breakdowns with ghost. All right, let's keep this going. Man, there's 72 people in the stream right now. That's pretty insane. If you guys like these types of things, I'm down for like research videos for every video. I don't, unless if I have to play the game, to be honest. If it's like a Sonic game that I have played, like, and I know it like the back of my hand, I probably won't do a stream around it, but specifically for things like this, once I'm done with Gen 2, I'm taking a break with Pokemon, probably going back to like Earthbound just to round out the original Smash roster, and then I'll do a proper Smash 64 video. Then from there, I probably might go back into like some Zelda stuff, Sonic stuff. I know people have been asking for a Silver video for a very long time, and I feel like now's the time to do that. I feel his appeal has grown quite a bit over the last few years, last couple of years. I don't know if he's gonna be in this upcoming movie. It'd be nice if he had a cameo, and then I lined up the video with that. But then like I go back to all of my old Sonic content now, and I'm just like, shit. I don't want to say they're not good, but I've improved so much. Oh, this is a trainer battle, man. I'm on. You know what? That's a good clip for later. I'll keep that. I'll keep that for the video. I almost caught this man's Caterpie. But yeah, like I wanted to. There's like so much content I want to do, but I'm going back to old videos and like, man, this Sonic Origins video could really use like a touch up. It's not my top priority, but something I'm thinking about heavily. Yeah, it's been like almost 4 years since those videos, and so I cringe sometimes when I watch them. But you know, they serve their purpose at the time. Everything evolves. YouTube evolves. The way people deliver stuff evolves. So, you know, like every creator out there had their time where they, you know, they put out content that's not as good as what they have later. But I don't want to like diminish the work that I did, because it was good stuff and it was good research overall. I just think like my favorite series of all time, or one of them, you know, deserves like my best foot forward and my best effort. So I could just start back at Silver, but also part of me wants to like revisit Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles or whatever, but maybe I don't have to. I don't know. Decisions. Good decisions to be made. Origin Oracle remastered. Yeah, how else do you remaster something without like redoing all your vocals? I could like just write a new script and then talk over it, but then like my editing was different then too, so you know. But yeah, just ideas. But yeah, like if you guys enjoy streams like this, I enjoy playing these games and just kind of talking through them. Pokemon is just very timeless overall though. I wonder if I'm wasting time grinding right now. Totodile can never be too overpowered. You could play one of the fan ports or mods for the 3D Sonic games. Like the mod to make Shadow the Hedgehog better. So it's been a while since I've played Shadow the Hedgehog. If I ever was doing like material around that, I would more than likely want to replay that. I've realized as I get older, I want to be more honest with myself about like how I perceived a lot of those games. I'm not saying they were terrible things. Why does this Hoot Hoot look different from the others? I know something was different here, but something suspicious about this Hoot Hoot. I remember like after Sonic Adventure 2, I was like very disappointed with Sonic Heroes. And I can never go back to that game and feel like, oh man, this is like amazing. I think it's a decent game, but like when you start dissecting the writing, the voice acting, directional choices made in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, Heroes felt rough to me. And then by extension, Shadow felt that way too. And I was very excited to see like where they were going to take this hero, or, you know, this broken hedgehog, and if they're going to make it darker and stuff like that. And me being in high school, I'm like, yeah, give me all the angst. And I don't know, like after I was playing it, I'm like, nah, this feels pretty forced. And then of course 06 happened, and ironically I liked 06 over the two that came before, because it felt like it was trying to get back into the adventure side of things a little bit more. And I don't remember running into a lot of like glitches, surprisingly, as I played through it. But maybe like I always discredited glitches as like difficulty, which is very easy to like misconstrue sometimes when you're growing up and you don't know what good game design is. But I remember I enjoyed the plot for what it was. Now, if you look at it now, it probably makes zero sense, or it's probably too convoluted. Not difficult, but convoluted. But I remember the writing for 06 for Shadow was pretty good. And it was like a completion of his character arc. But it's just sad that the game has such a bad reputation, because they had to kind of rewrite that now with Sonic X Shadow Generations, which I think is a great cap to it. It just never feels like the Space Colony arc situation has been officially put to rest. I think hopefully it is now, and we can see Shadow like in doing more things aside from just being that, you know, not rival, but just, oh, what do you want, Sonic? I'm taking care of this myself. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited to see what's next arc-wise for Shadow. But yeah, all that to say, like, there was like clearly this soul that was lost when Sega went under or stopped making consoles. And it was very noticeable in Heroes, though I know a lot of people grew up with Heroes and look at Heroes in a very, very positive light. And their first glimpse of Sonic was in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which was for the GameCube. So I think the generation after me of kids who are probably still millennials at that point, but younger ones, I was the person that grew up on Sonic 2, the original one. They probably have a very, very positive outlook on Heroes, and then Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, because that was for the GameCube, and that was their introduction to the series. So not knocking people that enjoy those games, but it's just like those just did not scratch the itch I needed. But if we're talking Sonic Rivals, I can talk to you about that all day. But sorry, not Rivals, Riders and Rivals. I was heavy on my PSP game at that time too, so. But Riders was my big thing. I think that was like some of the best Sonic in that era. Once you got the mechanics of that down. The Twilight Princess effect, definitely. I love Twilight Princess though. And I grew up on Link's Awakening, so I don't know, take that as you will. But then again, I haven't played Twilight Princess in like 15 years, so maybe I need to really figure out what's going on there. This Hoot Hoot is gaining some muscle, bruv. Everybody give a shout out to Hoot Hoot. This is crazy. Have I ever played Project 06? I played the, I think when I first played, I played it on stream when a couple of levels were in production. And I think it was just Sonic's part that was like done for Wave Ocean, and then I think like a second level, but it wasn't integrated with the entire game. I think the dev was just trying something out at that time. And I remember playing it and I'm like, man, this is good. I can feel the difference. But I never went back and played the completed project. Is he done with that now? And can you play the whole game as Project 06? I'm curious because I think that needs like a custom made PC version of the game, yes? Which I'm sure is not hard. You can catch Pokemon even if you have 6 with you. If you catch 1, it will go to your box automatically. You're awesome. I like you. I look for Pokemon here every day. When I'm in the grass, I find all kinds of berries. Oh, this guy's, you're talking a little too much. Are you gonna give me your phone number? If you'd like, I'd share some. Could I get your phone number? All right, chat. It's real life. This person assaults you on the road as you're headed to face your first gym leader. You take him on in a battle. He has 4 annoying Pokemon, by the way, all week. Then he asks for your phone number after talking your head off. Do you say yes? Do you say yes? Just think about that. I'm just gonna say yes. I need numbers. Give me your number, Wayne. You'll hear from me as soon as I find anything that you might like. Okay, so just to like, jokes aside, having this phone mechanic is super cool because trainers will start calling you for rematches. They'll start telling you what berries have grown back, I think, or what berries you can find on certain roads. And they can also tell you what Pokemon are spotted in the area, which is also cool because I do think that there are limited time Pokemon appearances from time to time. So like if you go back, like a trainer will call you and say, hey, there's more Clefairy in this area. I think that for a limited time in a certain area, I might be lying about this, but you can go back and then they're more likely to spawn, which is pretty insane to think that they programmed that in. If I'm wrong about that, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that that was a thing, but we'll see as we continue playing. I walked too far today looking for Pokemon. My feet hurt and I'm sleepy. If I were a wild Pokemon, I'd be easy to catch. Sleeps. Well, thanks for that. Basically, the swarms in this game aren't missing Pokemon. It's just that the swarms are for 1% encounters that get boosted much higher. So swarms was definitely the name, which I think is a really cool mechanic. It's just like the amount of things, like, I think they wanted to make a better game. They had all the things that they needed to make it viral. You have 151 catchable monsters. Oh, look, it's Bellsprout. Oh my God. I think this is perfect. I'm catching this. I need this right now because I think the plant presence on my team will be a very good boon for right now. Actually, well, I'm going into a bird gym, so it's probably not the best, but I think for later on, Bellsprout would be all right. James be like, right? James is a huge Bellsprout fanatic with his victory bell. Okay, this should be enough. My Pokeball should work. Who's holding it down? It's kind of tanky right now. I like that. So yeah, you can still find the swarm population, the swarm Pokemon. It's just much less likely to encounter them outside of swarms. Yeah, so I know they're not exclusive to swarms. I guess later on they introduced exclusive Pokemon exclusive to swarms. But I do remember specifically, you know, now's the time to go to this place if you want to get this Pokemon, because they're more likely to appear, which is very awesome. I think that's a great mechanic. And it makes sense, you know, in the world of Pokemon. Bellsprout, the flower Pokemon. If it notices anything that moves, it immediately flings its vine at the object. Well, that Bellsprout are violent. I love how this Bellsprout looks like it's got caught doing something like... I just got caught robbing the store. Oh shit. No, Bellsprout will remain Bellsprout. Welcome to the team, Bellsprout. All right, I think I found a good Pokemon in Dark Cave. We're not going in Dark Cave right now. I'm gonna raise it to take on Falkner. Here's the leader of Violet City's gym. Thanks for that. I remember the song for Dark Cave slap, but I don't think we have the right equipment to move around. We need flash, right? Or maybe Dark Cave is fooling me and it's not actually dark in there. Hi there. Did you visit Sprout Tower? Sprout Tower is the best. Sprout Tower has one of the best soundtracks in this game. I came too far out. I better phone home, like E.T. A swarm of Pokemon sounds like it could lead to a Lion King situation, like the wildebeest scene. In the gorge, Simba's down there. All right, so let's heal our Pokemon. I think right now, I have to remember how strong Falkner is. I don't remember him being that strong. Who was the second trainer? Jasmine? Did Falkner Jasmine Whitney? Or I think Jasmine is later. But justice prevailed. A young kid broke him up. Oh, this is a reference to the last game. This is 3 years later. I forgot this is a 3-year time skip. I'm always thinking it's a 2-year time skip. Bugsy. Yes, Bugsy. I was gonna say Bugsy. And I was wondering if Bugsy was Gen 3. It was around 3 years ago. Team Rocket was up to no good with Pokemon. But justice prevailed. A young kid broke him up. Just a blazing. What's going on, bruv? This stream's for you in particular. A guy named Bill made the Pokemon PC storage system. Oh no. We got a lot of Bills exposed in the Pokemon files, if you know what I mean. Alright. I don't think there's anything I need to do with these yet, so I'm not gonna do any PC moving. Later on, that's gonna be important. Yes, this Pokemon Center is definitely a nostalgic one for me. I remember being here very often for whatever reason. I don't know why, but maybe it'll become apparent to me later. I think it's like this little section between Violet, whatever the next town is, and Ecruteak. I think Ecruteak is the 4th, so Goldenrod is next? I have to remember. But I'll discover this. I'm unlocking my memories of this game. I think I intentionally refuse to play this game for so long so I can forget the experience and explore it all over again. I am not doing Nuzlocke though, no. Without the right gym badges, they will just do as they please. Yeah, you're talking about restricting Pokemon. I think I brought this up in my Gen 1 video, but I think it's super cool how like badges kind of like lock down the world for you. I was surprised to see in Gen 1 that certain badges actually increased your stats. I don't know. I think they took this away in Gen 2. We'll see as I get more badges. But I like totally forgot that badges increase your overall stats for your Pokemon. So beating certain gym leaders makes your Pokemon stronger. But also, you know, you have the level cap, so you can't just trade in a random Pokemon and like, you know, lay waste to everybody and like skip through all the plot. So having like lore reasons behind that, I think is such a cool idea. For these first, oh, hold on. Sorry, I gotta hear this. I'm talking over the nostalgia. I need to walk back in here for the first time and let this shit. Azalea Town, that's the one. All right, here we go. Hey. Oh my gosh. How can you not appreciate that? That is why. That is why music is gonna get a whole section of this one. Junichi Matsuda, man. I don't know if he still got these chops, but he did some shit. I think he collabed though, because he was co-directing this one. So I think Go Ichinose. Let's look this up right now. Pokemon Gold and Silver. I believe Go Ichinose joined him in this. Okay, so this is Go Ichinose. This is not fully Junichi Masuda, but there are 3 composers versus the one from Gen 1. There is a clear difference. They are not the same. And they have a whole different, they have a different, just like instrument set to work with. It's cool. This is awesome. Violet Town is super nostalgic for me. All right, what's going on, old man? Also, if you notice, the architectures of the homes are very different from what you see in Gen 1. Now, Gen 1 probably had a lot of like graphical constraints going behind it, but if you see, this is clearly like older houses. The traditional style tatami mats at the bottom with the little kotatsu in the middle and them sitting on pillows and stuff like that. That's supposed to be like that older Kansai vibe that you would see in like traditional homes in Kyoto. I'm pretty sure people don't necessarily 100% live like that. There's probably like more of a mixture of Western stuff going on, but I'm not saying it's totally dead. But it's great that they considered that when building out these homes. Oh, so awesome. And the wooden fixtures on the walls and all that stuff. Oh, amazing. Amazing. But if you don't have the right gym badge, they may disobey you. Okay, so they're rubbing in the disobeying thing. This is gonna be horrible footage for me to edit later because I'm stopping so much. I'm gonna hate myself. I collect Pokemon. Do you have Bellsprout? I do! Oh yeah, we're getting rid of that dude. Come on. Get out of here. Okay, connect the Game Link cable. I had to buy one for $15, so here you go. I love how nasty I just sold out this Bellsprout. Sorry, goodbye. Thank you, Kyle. Oh man, Kyle. What a shit trade. You just gave me my ticket to beating Faulkner. We can always get a new Bellsprout, that's fine. Kyle bids well to Onyx. Farewell to Onyx. Don't say bye, just give it to me. I thought Bellsprout was gonna be ride or die too. Thank you, Onyx. Welcome. I'm glad it didn't give it a stupid name like... you know when you think of a joke and you laugh before it comes out? You know in the original games, I mean they still do this now, but like these original trainers, oh no, it did give it a stupid name. I was gonna say I hope he didn't give it a stupid name like Anal Beads, and here it is, Rocky. Ugh, and I'm stuck with that name forever? And it's level 5? I want my Bellsprout back. Whatever, we completed our first good trade. And that is good, you know, good mechanics showing off for my playthrough. Ghosts are rumored to appear in Sprout Tower. They say normal type moves have no effect on ghosts. Thanks for letting me know. So yeah, look at the architecture of the homes. It's like traditional Japanese architecture all throughout. With a guy named Earl teaching the Pokemon Academy. I guess the only thing that didn't transfer over are the names. Earl's Pokemon Academy. All right, what does Earl have to teach us? Who's Earl? Which one of you is Earl? Is Earl not here? All right, I don't need to read all this stuff because I already know about status changes. I'm just hoping someone gives me something. Catch Pokemon using Pokeballs. No shit. Up to 6 can be in your party. Let's not keep reading. Okay, but who's Earl? I love there's an academy like called Earl's Academy, but there's no Earl. I traded my best Pokemon to the guy beside me. Huh, the Pokemon I just got is holding something. Oh, you got gypped, my friend. Is this supposed to represent Mario and Luigi? Just a thought. Yeah, I made it to Violet Town. You know how we go very slow paced on streams. Alright, Violet City Pokemon Gym Leader Faulkner. I wonder if it's worth going to Sprout Tower first, because maybe I can catch some things, or I don't know if they'll let me in first. Let me see. Is it the origin of Earl 5000? I don't know, man. It's so weird that there's a name there and you don't know Earl. You don't see an Earl. Hey, you're a Pokemon trainer? If you beat the gym leader here, you'll be ready for prime time. Cool. Thanks for that. Here we go. Hey. Out chillin' with the Bellsprouts in town. I'm out here streaming my shitty gameplay. Pokemon over here, Pokemon over there. Ay, 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 ay. Those lyrics sucked. I could have come up with a better freestyle than that, man. The song slaps too, though. A Bellsprout over 100 feet tall. People say that it became the center pillar here. I love that superstitious side of Pokemon and like how they're like very similar folklore stories about God damn it, Wade. I didn't even pick up. It's me, Wade. Were you awake? I know it's like past your bedtime. I found all kinds of berries if you want to come back and I'll share with you. I'll be waiting on Route 31. Please come by. All right, thanks, Wade. Interrupting my dialogue. But yeah, I like how like a lot of these stories are based off of like very similar yokai type of like folklore, Japanese folklore and things like that, mythology. So I imagine this was probably inspired by some story like that. I can't pinpoint one, or maybe it's supposed to like mirror something like that. But now that we know about gigantification, is that what they call it? Or is that, I think that's what you would really call gigantify Pokemon. Gigantamax, right? What is it called? Gigantamax. Can you get Gigantamax a Bellsprout? Because then this lore would come full circle. You can't. Wait, Dynamax. No, Dynamax is different. Dynamax. Yes. Okay, Dynamax Bellsprout. See, someone was already cooking down there in Reddit. Was Dynamax foreshadowed? I don't think it was. But the reference to the 100-foot tall Bellsprout was supposed to itself reference the original height of the tower. It's just interesting. Giant Pokemon are not, you know, new to like recent generations because they hinted at it in the anime and all that stuff. And I guess they eventually gave it a lore reason. But it's cool to like think of this actually being a Bellsprout. It's just weird that like some wooden pillar would transform from a Bellsprout in particular. Sprout Tower was built long ago as a place for Pokemon training. Only if you reach the top will you obtain an HM. What that stands for, I don't really know. Hidden Machine. We know it's Hidden Machine. It's interesting it's called Hidden Machine. Why did they name it that? That's something I didn't talk about in my video. I talked about what they were, but why they were named that is also strange. However hard we battle, the tower will stand strong. That giant Dragonite episode fucked me up, man. I'm sorry. Every time I saw that, I'm like, these freaking Team Rocket people. come back and you hear it like it's going out into the water. And I'm like, no, no, no. I need to see your face. And like, it's clearly a Dragonite. But at that time, I'm like, what the heck is that thing? Clearly, this is a shitty matchup, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, the whale noises freaked me out though. See, the fact that I haven't even watched that episode recently, and I remember specifically how it sounded. it was whale noises. Okay, let's bring out our hoot hoot. And they really used rocket launchers on it, if I remember correctly, or is it like rocket nets or something? They were trying to catch it with stupid nets. They were so dumb. Early Team Rocket was kind of annoying, actually. I mean, I think they were really trying to be villains then. Like, they were trying to write them as like proper villains early on. And I think it wasn't until, I would say, movie 2, where they were written as like anti-heroes. It was probably like mid-season, where it's just like, I mean, you make an appearance in every episode. There we go. And it's down. Will I eventually cover Gen 3? Of course. Now, when is another story. Just to give you an idea of how I want to handle this, like I'm literally just covering Gen 1 and 2 in the short term. To my whole idea is like I started this with Sonic content, and then it went into like Nintendo series, and I feel like that was a natural transition for the channel should have gone next, and I think it was the right choice. So I started doing Mario content, then that went to DK, then it went to Zelda, then it went to Kirby, I believe. Then I touched on Star Fox. I talked about Captain Falcon. So if you notice, there was a pattern, and it's most to. I was trying to cover the original Smash 64 roster, and I was supposed to do a Smash 64 video a long time ago, and then I got caught up in the series and all that. But I will be doing Gen 3. I think initially why I'm doing Gen 1 and 2 was to cover like the representation of Pikachu and Jigglypuff in Smash. Just as a warm up to all these series. And so like, yeah, on the other side of that Smash video, I got a lot of things to catch up on. I think I have to go back to like Zelda, starting with Minish Cap for sure. And then kind of like go over like the 4 swords and stuff like that. Though I think a lot of Zelda hype has died down in recent years after Tears of the Kingdom. So, but people still love that type of content. So maybe, but yeah, short answer, yes. I mean, I'm not letting Pokemon go. Like, as I went through Gen 1, my childhood love of Pokemon just came back in droves. And I remember why this series was like so special to me. And seeing like the resurgence of the cards right now, I shouldn't have tackled you. Shit. Nah, I'm asleep. Hold on. I need to catch this Ghastly. I don't think I have any moves that can hurt this thing, actually. Except Rage. Is Rage a normal move? What does Foresight do again? I feel like this will help me. Identified enemy Ghastly. And I think now I can attack him, but I'm asleep? So, does this... I think I'm screwed. Yes, what you will never worry about, God of Awesome, is me covering a game that is not in good taste. Man, this freaking thing just put everybody to sleep. So I would love to do that. There's also like these very, very small passion projects I want to work on of like really, really one-off games from my childhood that I would love to cover. I don't know if anybody here has played Tomba before. Remember that little wild kid with the pink hair? 1 and 2 are very near and dear to my heart because they're like these really quirky platformers that has never been done the same ever again for whatever reason. That was an interesting time, and so I'd love to just cover that one off. I don't know. There's like a ton of things I would like to go through. But yes, never any shortage of content here. I've played a shitload of games, so and there's a lot of things I would love to talk about. Unfortunately, you only know Tomba from that one video. Yeah, but rightfully so. This is so annoying. Can I just throw a ball now? Can I like... Do I even power through this? I need to power through this. All my Pokemon are asleep. I have no Awakeners. I came in here ill-prepared, but Ghastly's attacks don't work on Hoothoot, so I can just punch. Yes. Okay. I can risk it and throw a Pokeball now, try to end this early. I'm gonna do it. Anyways, just want to say as a fellow gamer of the same generation, as a dad with a special needs son who is as amazing as he is, takes a lot of work and time, that and working 40 plus hours a week, I have no time to game at all. I've been watching your vids to get my fix. Anyways, just want to say as a fellow gamer of the same generation with an insane amount of nerd game knowledge, I appreciate your in-depth, well-researched content. Hey man, thanks for that. That's what I'm here for. I'm glad that, you know, I know like that's a full-time job right there. And I'm thinking about the next stages of like life when it comes to like being a parent now too and stuff, like not confirmed. I'm just saying like, I am now 35 going on 36 this year. So, you know, you naturally think of those things and like, is that the next step? And yeah, I realize like a lot of people my age just go back to this type of gaming. They can't play new things, and this is the realm where everybody likes to live in and replay that. Like maybe this is on your backlog for a future playthrough if you ever have the time. Yeah, it's awesome. I love covering these things for that reason. And I think of people like you when I make this stuff. So I appreciate the feedback. I don't know, when you're like not in front of your viewers and like you have to go through comments, and it's different when you like get it on stream live, you know what I mean? So I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. All right, I'm getting frustrated, sorry. Let me get this freaking Ghastly. I'm locked in on this Ghastly. I'm trying to make sure I'm not distracted, and it just gets in the Pokeball. Thank you. This cannot go any other way. I already wasted 2 Pokeballs on you. You put my whole party to sleep. You can't do anything else. You can't even kill me. Get in the ball. You have got to be kidding me. No, we're catching this thing. Do you have a different catch rate? Am I going crazy? Is this a shiny and I don't notice? Thank you. Oh. God. Oh, man. Okay. I just needed a second to recoup. All right, cool. This Ghastly is trying to get revenge for every Ghastly in Gen 1. Apparently. You better give me some good Pokédex details here. Ghastly. Gas. It wraps its opponent in its gas-like body, slowly weakening its prey by poisoning it through the skin. You know what's funny about Ghastly? Like, it always looks like it's this orb, like a spirit, but it's a gas Pokemon. In Gen 1 and Gen 2, that's how it's described. I don't know if that's been switched lately. I always thought this was this like spiritual thing, but no, it's gas, which would explain why it's a poison Pokemon, which is I was complaining about earlier. Like, why is it poison? So Gengar at the end of the day is like a very, very matured form of gas. The more you know. Which makes this Coughing's brother. Can Coughing breed Ghastly? No, I need more conspiracy sounds on my soundboard right now. Where's the cinematic boom? This is it. Okay, let me try that one more time. If Ghastly are, and it says Ghastly, it's in the name. So if coughing and wheezing produce gas, can they breed Ghastly? I don't know, we're cooking on this playthrough. This playthrough is different. All right, so let me get this Ghastly. Bing 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 go bing 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 bing. Hey, this song slaps too much. Hip Hopper, what are you doing in these parts? Welcome to the stream. I know. I think I already told everybody that's my wife. So that's, if you guys are ever curious. She can't hide anymore now. Unfortunately, I came out in the video and told everybody. All right, that's the only spotlight I'll put on you for today. The flexible pillar protects the tower, even from earthquakes. I wonder if this is based. I wonder. Let's see if Sprout Tower is based on a specific tower in Japan. I'm interested to know. Hey, I'm having. I just need an excuse for this to play longer. So in Japanese, Sprout Tower is called Maratsubomi Tower. Maratsubomi. So this area of Johto is inspired by the Nara prefecture, which is like the old capital of Japan before Kyoto and then Tokyo thereafter. So there's a lot of towers over there. Two temples called Kofukuji and Horyuji and Kofukuji. So it could be based on any of these right here. So here's an example, which has an origin as far as back as the year 669 AD. I've actually been to this area, and these things are like constantly being refurbished, but it's just like, it's hard to imagine you're in such an old place. Like I've been to Europe before too, and you see some of the castles there, but like nothing is as old as some of this stuff. And it's like, and from a different culture, like of different origins, it's like wrapping your head around it is pretty fascinating. So if you guys ever wondered what it's based off of, this is the Nara region specifically, which is cool. I'm learning that for the first time as I'm talking this through. You're trying to make connections like how Mount Silver is based on Mount Fuji and the entrance is similar to that of the Logan Paul Forest. Yes, well, we'll get there. Oh, man. Okay. I'm not fighting another Ghastly, I'm sorry. Oh, that was even scarier than the last one. Why does this one look even worse? Everybody's sleeping, bruv. Let me go back to the Pokemon Center. So first, well, this is not what I meant to do. Paralyze heal. I could have used an awakening. That would have been nice to help me with my sleeping team. And then this is probably a Pokemon battle right here, right? I don't want to do that. Real Heian era shit. Exactly. Exactly. You know your stuff. You know ball. You know game. I never say that in real life, by the way. So Man, my lady hates any game you have to read, which is like every single Nintendo game of my childhood ever made. She really crushed me when she said she hated Ocarina of Time because she had to read. I told her we may have to start seeing new people. Well, look, I think there's always an entry level. There is a game out there that has like just enough reading where it doesn't deter her from reading, and just enough gameplay where it's not like is it like that meme where it's not ball or guns? If it's a game that doesn't have a ball or guns, I'm bored. I don't know. I think if Ocarina of Time was too heavy, maybe Mario is better. And I think Mario's like strictly gameplay. I don't know. You're more into more like, I'm thinking Zelda, probably Mother series, Fire Emblem type vibe, Metroid, which doesn't have a lot of reading, but does have a lot of world building. Is she into like action type games, or is she just not a gamer whatsoever? There's some overlap for sure. You can definitely find something. OT having too much text is hilarious. The thing is, it's funny because I was talking about this the other day. You always like think like Ocarina of Time is this grand adventure and it has like a ton of stuff in it. And then you go back and play it and you realize it's a ton of game. There's not like a lot of story moments. There are some cutscenes in it, but they're not long, and there's not a lot of them. So I always realize like, man, I went back and like, how much gameplay is in this game? And so like your mind kind of like fills in a lot of the gaps. The adventure is the story for you when you're a kid. And that's what I realize is the magic of a lot of these games. I think, I'm so broke. All right, we're bringing these awakenings. Why do I feel so poor in this game? Old lady, can you lend me some money? When you first catch a Pokemon, it may be weak, but it will eventually grow to be strong. It's important to treat Pokemon with love and connection. No, Wade. Hey, it's me, Wade. Were you awake? Are your Pokemon growing? What's happening? You gonna say anything? My Pokemon are growing a bit too quickly for me. It's a little overwhelming. Caterpie's growing especially quickly, and I think it's gonna get tough. Oh yeah, we KO'd a wild Spinarak with one hit a while back. It went down so easily, I felt a little sorry for the poor thing. All right, you're not answering. See you later. I now remember how annoying the cell phone calls are. I remember there was a specific trainer who was in my original playthrough, and I think she's in the national park. Her name's Beverly. And did she have a Snubble? I'm pretty sure she had a Snubble. All right, let me make progress. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm gonna get through Sprout Tower and get whatever HM is at the end of it. It must be Flash. For some reason, I remember Bellsprout using Flash as like something that happens here. Here we express our gratitude to honor all Pokemon. Sage Chow wants to battle. Well, they weren't being racist with this. I'm not offended. I'm just calling out some of the subtext there. They gave a monk a Chinese name. I don't want to use Onyx here because if everybody has a Bellsprout here, my Onyx is kind of screwed. So maybe I should use Ghastly, who all he does is put people to sleep. I need to switch out my team form so like Onyx is not soaking up a lot of this. Hey, all right, good pick. So if I do Hypnosis, you can't put Bellsprout to sleep? Since when? Hold on. I'm forgetting something. Something's not adding up in my head. You can't put Bellsprout to sleep. Why would a Bellsprout not sleep? Plant types can go to sleep, yes? Oh, it just missed. So it's, okay, so it's just the messaging. Okay, I'm used to it saying it clearly missed. I don't remember that being a thing in Gen 1. I thought it said it missed if you missed. All right, whatever. I'll try it again next time. But Hoot Hoot is looking pretty good right now. Look at that defense on him. This Pokemon game, I definitely looks like a lot of levels to finish. I need to play and finish it among the other emulator games I'm playing now. As a Zillennial, retro games are my childhood. It's the best of all time league. I don't know Nintendo Switch or PS5. That's for Gen Alpha kids right there. Well, for what it's worth, Switch does have a lot of like their retro library is building out. Not in the way that I would have liked for it to. I think Nintendo has like access to so many old games that they're not putting out or they're drip feeding to us. Luckily with the Switch 2, it seems that all of that library is still gonna carry over for years to come. But man, like you could literally be the Netflix of Nintendo games right now and you're not doing it. They're playing with my feelings. But we recently got Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and all that. So I think like, I don't know, just like a Switch, there's enough NES, Game Boy, GameCube. Well, GameCube is exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know. I wouldn't buy a Switch just for the emulation, but if you're interested in any like games like Breath of the Wild and Odyssey, I'd get it for those, and then you can have like that little subscription for retro games. But yeah, like that's like the Switch versions of a lot of these games has come in clutch. This is not on Switch. None of the Pokemon games are for whatever reason. Maybe Ruby and Sapphire, but no. It's weird. Like Pokemon's in a weird like space. Yes, Gen 1 and 2 missed and avoided attack are interchangeable. The same thing happened when throwing Pokeballs at legendaries. So the legendary thing in Gen 1, I was like, I forgot that they dodged the ball. They don't just break out. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, avoided attack are interchangeable. Avoided the Pokeball is the same thing of them breaking out. I got the expansion thing recently for the GBA Metroids mostly, but there's a lot on there I want to play now. Like they released Metroid Fusion on it the other day, and I was thinking, man, like we didn't have Fusion this whole time? I could have sworn it was there, but maybe I mixed it up with Zero Mission. But I swore I played Fusion like the other day when I was making my Metroid content. This song's such a banger. Hey, you interrupted my banger sesh. I don't even know that's a word. Sway like the leaves in the wind. I am lost. There's a lot of new people on stream, but I Am Lost is like one of the OGs of the TheMentok channel. Back when I was like really first streaming, when I had like 3 people in the stream, Lost was like one of the first people there. And he humored like everything that I put out there. And my guy is still here chilling. That's why he has mod status. So what is going on, my friend? I hope all is well. I know we haven't like DM'd or anything lately. I hope you're doing well. If there was a day 1 badge, I'll give it to you. There probably is in YouTube, but I haven't like, you know, I'm terrible at the back end side of YouTube. If it's not metrics, I don't know what else to do on I don't know what else to do with YouTube. YouTube is pushing me hard to push their shopping thing. They're like, oh, you're leaving a lot of money on the table by not including you know, affiliate links and blah 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 blah. And I'm not against that. I just don't know what people would buy. Like, I would never buy a product off of somebody's YouTube video, but I'm not everybody. But I assume my audience is very similar to me, and the way you guys talk sound like you have the same mindset as I do. So knowing that, like, I'm like, okay, first off, what the frick would you guys buy off YouTube shopping? And then secondly, like, what product would I pick where would I place that, and what's the commission I would get? I'm not gonna sell you guys a hammer for 1% commission, but you guys are probably would buy a hammer if I suggested. I don't know, because I know I always need like I need a new tool or like some type of cleaning solution. Funny enough, like YouTube does give me the specs on like what you guys would be interested in, and it's just like millennial males have such a funny product trend. I don't know the word for it, but it's like the product trends that we would buy. And I'm looking at the list and I'm like, huh, yeah, this seems about right. And it's like household items, cleaning supplies, tools. It's not video game stuff, and it's not like merch like the stuff that you see behind me. It's like everyday things. It's funny. Content creator says, I use this equipment like this mic. Could include like a Amazon affiliate link into the same mic you use. But like, if you're watching me, chances are you don't do this. You know, I don't know. Maybe I sound like I'm dissecting the problem too much. I wouldn't mind telling you what this mic is though. This is a Shure SMB 7, which is from the same company that was like doing stuff for Michael Jackson back in the Thriller days. So apparently this is the Thriller microphone, and it's meant for musical performances, but people have used equipment to change it more into a podcast mic. And that's why you see a lot of content creators use it reliably. I know some people have switched to like cheaper models or more expensive Audio Technica stuff. But I really love the output on this mic. I think it's super clean. I think sometimes the popping is a little bit loud, but that's just the way I talk. When I get really excited in videos, you'll hear me like blow out somebody's eardrum with the P's and the pops and the explosions, as they call them. But I really like this mic, and it's been reliable. It was worth every penny. It was about $400 for this one. I would not suggest this to someone who's just getting started. So if someone's watching me and they're trying to get started, maybe that's an affiliate link in itself. Like, oh, if you're trying to get started, don't buy this mic, buy this mic. But I don't know. I think a microphone is a great thing to have. It's always like good to be able to clearly voice stuff, even if it's like job interviews, or just flexing on your family that you haven't seen in a long time on a Zoom call. I don't know. Do we even do that anymore? I feel like people used to do that with family during COVID, like with people they didn't even see like more than once a year, but it's just like, oh, this pandemic, we got to talk on Zoom. This is a funny thought. I love how I trail onto 8 different... What does this have to do with Pokemon, Mentok? It's crazy. This guy's crazy. All right, I think I'm at the top. The fact that there's so much Bellsprout here, I feel like Hoot Hoot has to just carry this whole thing. Hey, are you allowed to stream an emulated game? Asking for a friend. If you have a physical copy of the game, yes, it's totally legal to stream an emulated game. I have my old original copy of Pokémon Crystal that I can sit here and show the stream to prove it. So yes, as long as you're doing that and you know, you're using this for documentation purposes, it's totally fine. Now, showing the process and all that stuff behind it, I mean, I don't know. I've never heard anyone really like being chased after for using that. Now, if you're trying to stream Mario Kart World on an emulator, you probably might get flagged for that. So, I don't know. Just be like smart about it. I train to find enlightenment in Pokemon. And just for that conversation, Nintendo's coming to knock at my door right now. I was gonna say coming to kill me, but like I said it anyway, who cares? Sage Jin wants to battle. What's good, Jin? Everybody uses Bellsprout in this tower. No, you're good, I didn't mean that for real. I don't think it's like I don't see Nintendo doing any of that, especially for an old game like this. But the Pokemon Company, that's a different story. I'm just all right, which I get to talk about the difference between Nintendo and the Pokemon Company in this video too. So I have a lot to cover ground-wise with that. All right, I'm gonna speed up. Is my recording still going? It'd be a shame if that shit stalled. Okay, everything still looks good. My new graphics card is working. My new RAM is working. It's so nice that I can like record gameplay and stream at the same time. Though, when I edit this later, I'm gonna hate myself for all the stopping. So I'm gonna put a new recording here just in case. I like to record in like hour-long chunks and then label them later. Game Freak got the snipers for sure. Man, I have a story about that. I'm gonna see if I can progress and tell this story. The Elders HM lights even pitch black darkness. Game Freak does have snipers, by the way. So I remember I was in college. That was around the time Black and White came out. And so I am I'm a college student. I don't have any money, right? I can't afford much, or like what I was affording mostly was groceries and food for the month, like, because I did get some scholarships and stuff, and like most of that went into my tuition and stuff like that, and then I would save some, so I would have like a monthly stipend of what I would use. So a lot of times, like there were a lot of games coming out during that time, and that was around when Black and White came out, Pokemon Black and White. I downloaded Pokemon Black at first, right when it came out. And I remember I was in my apartment. I wasn't even in a dorm or anything. I was in my apartment. And man, what was my service provider? It was Cox. Cox Cable at the time, or Cox Communications. And so I remember like I was browsing and I got a message. You couldn't even go to like the next site. It had like this thing that would come up, and it was like, you can no longer use or browse the internet because you are carrying copywritten data on your computer. And it said the file specifically, Pokemon Black.3ds or whatever, .ds or whatever the file name was. And I'm like, holy shit, they found me. That was the first time I got freaked out, where I felt like, oh my god, they know everything. Like, they know everything. So Nintendo must have like, you know, told, like, I didn't get the police sent on me or anything. They were just like, delete the file, or you can't use, you know, your computer or your internet service. They can just shut it off. And so I think that's like, you know, internet service providers lightly enforcing it and not like sending the cops on you. But I think like Nintendo was hardcore with that. That was like I was paranoid about everything at that point. I'm like, man, they know everything. They know every file. No, I got to delete all of this. And I know I deleted more than just that. I'm like, I'm getting rid of everything. I don't know if anyone has experienced anything like that ever again with their service provider. Rules have changed. Then again, I have not had the balls to download a brand new game like when it came out. I would say somebody try like downloading GTA 5 6 when it comes out and see what happens to yourself. I'm just kidding, but it's pretty insane. It was like, what a moment. All right, I think I'm gonna have to start using turbo mode. There's a interesting thing is when I click into the actual game, it disappears from my stream. And then when I click out the window, see, it starts doing like a weird flashy thing. So whenever I want to use, whenever I want to use turbo mode, I have to click into the app. Maybe I can put turbo mode on my controller somewhere. Let me see if I can do that to make that easier. Give me one sec. Let me, because you guys can see it now. Like when I'm in full screen mode, it does this weird thing. No tab is turbo. Give me like some settings here. Fast forward, shift tab. Shift tab. That's fine. We'll run it at full speed. It's fine. I'm almost through Sprout Tower anyway. Brand new games have stronger DRM now. That scene for new games is mostly dead at the moment. Yeah, I figured. People seem very upset when those anti-piracy things are built into it because it ruins the game's performance, but it's like, I kind of understand the other half of it too. Like, that used to be a huge market, man. There's like torrents for every new game out there and every capable emulator was available. Uh-oh. What's happening? You are indeed skilled as a trainer. As promised, here is your HM. But let me say this. You should treat your Pokemon better. The way you battle is far too harsh. Pokemon are not tools of war. He claims to be the elder, but... I don't know why I'm giving him that voice. But he's weak. It stands to reason. I'd never lose to fools who babble about being nice to Pokemon. I only care about strong Pokemon. You know why I sound this way? Because every bratty person and child sounded like this in the original dub for Pokemon. Everybody sounded like that. I only care about strong Pokemon that can win. I really couldn't care less about weak Pokemon. Hey, he said couldn't care less. He didn't say could care less. Props to you, Silver, for your grammar. Okay. Hey, they gave me an escape rope. They didn't need to do that, but they did it anyway. So thank you, Game Freak, for that. I'm gonna save here. Yeah, I've got Pokemon and you don't. All right. I think my team should be strong enough. My Hoot Hoot definitely got the steroid pack on the way in because he held up the whole team. I'm out of healing though, but that's okay. Cause let me guess, if this guy has a Weeping Bell or a Victory Bell, he's broken Bellsprout tradition in this shit, and we don't fuck with him. You need to have a team of strictly Bellsprouts like your brethren. So good of you to come here. Sprout Tower is a place of training. People and Pokemon test their bonds to build a bright future together. I am the final test. Allow me to check the ties between your Pokemon and you. Oh my god, it's Heisenberg. Monk Heisenberg wants to battle. Sage Lee wants to battle. Bellsprout. Okay, so far so good. We got a Bellsprout. Let me guess, it's gonna follow up with a Bellsprout and then finish up with a Bellsprout. Oh, he has a fast Bellsprout. It's cool. My flying types are good against plant types. Am I missing everything for real? Okay, thank you. Your Bellsprout is like the top Bellsprout among Bellsprouts. You know what have come in handy right now? My old Bellsprout that I traded away for a rock Pokemon that has no use in here whatsoever. Sorry, a rock ground Pokemon, because a lot of people didn't know that about Gen 1. I certainly didn't realize Onyx is rock ground when I initially played Gen 1. I still find that fascinating that they would screw early players with such a combo so early on in the game. That was like a vibe check. All right, well, you have a Hoot Hoot. Oh no, everybody boo this man. I could have sent out Onyx for this battle, actually. Devin Sauls. What's going on, Devin? Welcome to the stream. Shoutouts to Devin too, man. He's been around for a while. You're experienced on the TheMentok lore. You've been around for quite some time. We got some OGs in the chat today. I'm the one who chooses. Heisenberg's Lee. Alright, well, Rage needs to continue building because it's not building enough. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Do Hoot Hoot have like naturally high defense? I need to check the stats on mine. It seems to hold up pretty well as a flying type. We're gonna rage through this whole thing. And then finally Bellsprout. Have I raged enough to one-shot this? Let's see. This would be cool if I did. Or does it restart with the new Pokemon? I think it restarts, okay. It's fine, I should be able to take this. Did I hear Tangle and Whisper finally are getting voices? Is that within Crossroads? Ooh, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. I'm gonna switch back to Hoot Hoot. I'm pretty sure the next rage would kill that Bellsprout, but I don't want to risk it. I need to get caught up on the Sonic IDW comics. It's been like a very long time, but I'm just seeing like, I didn't know how good the story arcs have been. I think I left off like around the introduction of man, what's the name of the green girl? I feel bad for not remembering her now. It's gonna come to me the moment somebody types it, like before I even look. Man, I forget. But she's like the green counterpart to Sonic that has like electric powers. But I remember like, that's where I stopped on her arc. So I know a lot has happened since then. All right, so I finally get Flash HM. That's nice. Give me this. And I'm getting out of here so I can go face Faulkner. I don't know if I'm ready for Faulkner. I'm pretty sure I am, but we'll see. And then we go to the dark cave. Wade! Hey, it's me, Wade. Were you awake? I keep calling you later and later to test the boundaries of your bedtime. How are your Pokemon doing? My Pokemon have too much energy. They keep me awake, and that's why I call you. It gets to be a bit of a problem. I don't know if they're growing too fast or they're planning on eating me. I don't know, but Caterpie is my hardest to handle. Working with it is exhausting. Oh yeah, a wild Bellsprout got away from me at the last second. I know it's a common Pokemon, but it does annoy me that it's gotten away when I almost had it. Anyway, see you later. Thanks, Wade. I definitely love classic hobbies. I both play my childhood retro game emulators and create my digital drawing animations on Amiga Paint and JS Paint. Those clowns better not erase our kids' days. I think, and Amiga Paint, I always love seeing current day Mario Paint art and Microsoft Paint art and stuff like that. Like, and then people sitting there and doing it. There's a lot of Twitch streamers that still do that stuff and like do content out of that. So that is cool that like you've kept that up as a hobby. I'm not familiar 100% with Amiga Paint, but I'm sure it had a similar minimalistic interface that makes it just fun to do. I think I'm gonna take on Faulkner now. I could lead with Onyx. Onyx is just kind of sucks right now. I could easily like breeze through, but then let me try it with these two. I believe Faulkner has a level 12, if I remember correctly. If not, it's a 14 and I'm screwed, but hey, I'm gonna humble myself. WarioWare do-it-yourself. I forgot that was even a thing. Nice callback. Hello, are you a trainer? Battle gym leader when you did? No? Is that so? Then study shall you. Follow me. Are you taking me? Are you Earl? Why are you twirling so much? Chill. Here, teacher I am. Good it is you study here. Guys, I think we found Earl. Finally. By the way, nice haircut. Popeye for the win. It was Popeye. I have a barber named Popeye. A Dominican guy from New York. And I think he gets me. I think it's pretty clean on the sides, you know what I'm saying? So some stuff I'm trying to work with, because my hair was a mess before. I'm glad I didn't go on stream looking like how I did before. When you're sick, for some reason it always makes your hair 10 times worse. Yeah, you guys didn't want to see me before all this. Are you Earl? Earl, I am. It is Earl. So Earl was out there trying to get people into his school. All right, Earl. Wonderful are Pokemon, yes, and why does he talk like Yoda? Teach you I will to be a better trainer. What you want to know? Want to be a winner is you? Yes, good. Teach you I will. In battle, Pokemon top on list jump out first. Change order in list. Make battle easy, maybe. More from me you want to hear? Sure. So, want to know how to raise Pokemon well? Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, is he gonna explain happiness? Because that's actually a nice little mechanic to talk about here. If Pokemon come out and he's not gonna talk about happiness, okay. If Pokemon come out in battle, even briefly, some experience points it gets. At top of list, put weak Pokemon. Switch in battle quick. This way, weak Pokemon strong become. Thank you, Earl. Thank you. You are doing a service to this community of Johto. Beautiful. I love Earl. Is there anything I missed here? I think this is I don't think I went in this house and I didn't talk to this guy. I saw a wiggly tree up ahead. If you touch it, it squirms and dances cool. Cool. So the wiggly tree he's talking about is Sudowoodo, who is actually a rock Pokemon that is not a tree. I think you need a squirt bottle to get it to move. She uses the names of her favorite things to eat for the nicknames she gives to her Pokemon, I mean. What's going on the radio? Oak's Pokemon Talk. Welcome to Professor Oak's Pokemon Talk with me, Mary. Growlithe may have been seen around Route 37. Growlithe's looks in water is suave and debonair. Venonat may have been seen around Route 43. Venonat's sure addictively stimulating what? Abra may have been seen around Route 35. Abra's provocatively suave and debonair. Man, this is a terrible radio show. You guys should be ashamed. Zay, what's good? You're... Welcome. You already know what it is. I call my Pidgey Strawberry. Okay. Enough stalling. Let's go see Faulkner. Trying to keep the traditions alive as always, because AI, CGI, and cringe systems are destroying our traditions. And I make sure to keep them as permanent apps, like the 1960s and 90s paint apps for my cartoon, anime, film adaptations homework, and my retro video game emulators to play. You're doing some good work, man. I appreciate that. I was actually venting about that. I'm not against AI as a whole, but when it comes to like creative outlets, AI is like destroying that shit. You Google any type of art now and it's like every listing is flooded with AI options that look so samey and shitty, and like our memes are AI, are like, why? Why is there AI video of a cat being chased by a possum? We just can't see that in the wild anymore, or vice versa. Like we can't just get a video of that in the wild anymore, bruv. And then you have like situations where, I don't know, you Google a character, like let's Google Misty. You might see like some, I don't know why Misty came to mind, but let's say Misty Pokemon. And so it might start with like some official artwork from like the show and stuff like that. And then I think my safe search is on. But you start to get like lower, and then you get like, you would just naturally get things that might be AI. Or it's hard to tell like what somebody actually drew. But like slowly as time goes by, you're gonna see a lot of like fan art start to just fade away from this, and you're gonna see more AI prop to the top. And that's like kind of what's frustrating about it. I'm pretty sure this might be, I don't know for a fact. I'm not gonna like shit on anybody who actually made like AI, non-AI artwork that has that semblance, because I've seen people get caught saying that before. It's like, it's not AI, and then an artist is discredited for that reason. But you get my point. Like, it's gonna start flooding the searches and stuff like that, and the memes are gonna start being AI, and then all videos are like, oh, it's wild. There's a lot of that stuff now. So keep up that creativity. It's good stuff. We gotta like keep the solid things in the world. My scripts are totally written by me still. You know, like I'll use it sometimes to just kind of make sure my wording is on point, but I never like will have it write a script for me. And you can tell when you listen to a YouTuber and they like use it, like, hey, write me a script about, I don't know why he came to mind, Bill Cosby. Write me a script about the controversy of Bill Cosby. And you can tell like immediately, and these people will use an AI voice with an AI script, and then they just churn it out and they get millions of views. I have my integrity at stake, you know? Like, I enjoy researching and doing the work, and that's part of this for me. Could I grow faster if I just streamlined everything? Maybe, but like, I don't know. That's where the joy would come out of it. So anyone who feels like they have like something to provide the world in creativity, when you have the time, just do it. It's healthy for you and for everyone else in the world, I think. That's just me. And I noticed a lot of people leave comments on my videos and say that. It's like, oh man, finally, like I found a channel that's not AI slop. And I'm like, man, how many channels could it be? And then I started clicking around recently, and just like general topics I'm interested in, everything is an AI voice. It's like, bro, just read it. Just read it. Just read it. And this would be a better video. I don't know. Anyway. Hey, I'm no trainer. Is this the same hype man from last time? I don't think he is. He has a different look. Hey, I'm no trainer, but I can give some advice. Believe me, if you believe, a championship dream can come true. Yes. Do I have a Shia LaBeouf on here? I don't. I used to have like something, right? Okay, well, I don't have a just do it, because this seems very appropriate right now. Make your dreams come true. You believe? Then listen. The grass type is weak against the flying type. Keep this in mind. All right, let's go. I remember I used to skip these guys, but you're missing out on like free, well, you can't skip this one in particular, but there's like a lot of gyms where you can skip the trainers in there. That's like, you're leaving experience on the table. Never do that. Let me see if you are good enough to face Faulkner. Your favorite games of the series. You should. Everyone should play this game. I'm telling you. Hip Hop Her, why aren't you? You should be playing Gen 1 right now. After my first video. Come on. Should have convinced you to jump in and play that game. But this one is a whole new level. Y'all don't understand. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure a lot of you know, but the music, I've already stopped a few times, Zay, for like that first walk into Violet City. I had to give it some time. I gave it some air to breathe. Birdkeeper Abe wants to battle, or is it Abe? It's a Japanese game. It could be Abe. Spiro. I have to remember if Gold and Silver had animations or if Crystal was the one that added the animations. That I have to go find out. All right. Level 9 Spearow. I feel like my Totodile should be fighting this, but let's give the experience to... Let's see if Hoot Hoot can hang in there. Hoot Hoot! Crystal was the first with animations. Okay, so I remember that part at least. Is he dead? Hang in there. Yeah! See? The Hoot Hoot race is superior. Alright, so we're gonna go heal up. And see, some of that money is going to mom. Actually, is that why I'm so broke? Is because I'm sending it all to her? I probably need to call her. Hey, mom, can you send me some funds? Because it's looking a little dry on my side. Let me go back to the Pokemon Center. Crystal added them, I think, and I was salty because I couldn't get it. I remember I did not get Crystal as well. Because I was like, man, it's again, like weighing out your options. Like either new game or you play like the good version, like the best version of Gold and Silver. And I'm like, and you can play as a girl? I'm not going to play as a girl, but you can play as a girl now? And then the Suicune was on the cover and stuff like that. And then you have all those kids who were like, who looked always rich as fuck because they always had the thing that you wanted in the commercials. I hated kids in commercials because they'd be like, oh, Suicune. And you're like, fuck you, kid. Hey, do you want to trade my Suicune for your Entei? And then they would plug in the link cable that you didn't have. Those 90s commercials, man, they did their freaking job. I don't know what kids commercials look like now because I don't watch kids television, and then I guess, like, you know, the targeted videos on YouTube ads probably wouldn't target me with kids commercials either, but they were like super aggressive in the 90s. Super high racer. This is the racer for your kids. If you don't have one, then you're a fucking loser. Super high racer. That was like every commercial for the boys, and then the girls commercials is just like, my little Barbie, oh, this Barbie. If you don't have a Barbie, then you're a bitch. And that's like FOMO. Maybe that's why we coined the phrase FOMO. Is FOMO a millennial term? Feels like it, and I think it's for that reason. 90s commercials did that very well. Those here are training night and day to become bird Pokemon masters. Come on. All right. Birdkeeper Rod wants to battle. More Pidgey and Spearow. Now I have to remember what Faulkner had. I don't think he would have a Noctowl so early, would he? Don't spoil it for me in the chat. Definitely has a Pidgey. I definitely think he had a Spearow. He might have a Fearow. I think it's Fearow that he has. And then that shit uses Drill Peck. And I think I recall in the anime, that thing annihilated Ash the first time around, or maybe I'm mistaken. All right, let me fight him first and we'll figure it out. Pidgey. Let's switch out to... Man, let's see if the Onix can get some... It should have pretty high defense, but let's see if this Onix can get some use. Oh, I can turn this Onix into a Steelix later too. Yes, I'm gonna do that. It's gonna take a while. Who would win out? I would. Okay. All right, so in the meantime, I'm gonna keep smashing this button. Nah, Ash hadn't released his Charizard yet when he fought Faulkner. His power level goes down significantly after he releases Charizard. Yes, that's right. He left it on, like... It was like some island or like some Charizard refuge area or something, if I remember correctly, and he just picks him up at will. Ash is a horrible trainer in the first 2 seasons, maybe even 3. And then I stopped watching after that. But I remember is it the Diamond and Pearl arc that had Paul? Is Paul the one I'm thinking? It's the one where he got very, very close to winning and they didn't give it to him and people were pissed off. Not Sun and Moon, it was before that. Oh yeah, and don't release the shiny Gyarados. I did that shit too. Well, no, I didn't release it, but I don't think I caught it. I think I defeated it. I'm like, yeah, I defeated a red Gyarados. Stupid kids. You're such dumb kids. So dumb. That was X and Y, yes. A line. Thank you, thank you. I was actually pretty invested in that season. I wasn't watching, but you know, like when you know when you're not like a fan of like the Super Bowl, for instance, but then like you're interested in like one team and how they like progress in passing, maybe like 1 season or 2 seasons, or you're like, oh man, like I'm actually kind of interested in what's going on, but you don't watch any of the games and you look at the score. That's what I was doing with Ash that season. And then they like improved the animation quite a bit that season too. So I'm like, oh yeah, just give it to him, bro. Make him win this. And he did. Stupid. Ash is stupid. No, just kidding. I have no hatred for Ash. I grew up with my guy. I just think more character development was necessary. But it's good to see that he's living his dreams now. In animation limbo. Ash was very strong in Diamond and Pearl, had to face a trainer with Darkrai and Latios to beat him. I think the red scale was something you can sell, and I think that's what I did. Oh, so that was like the consolation, right? If you didn't catch the Gyarados, you got the red scale, or maybe you got both. Man, there's so many little things I don't remember. Hey, it's Faulkner. Now, one of my favorite songs in this game is about to play, and that is the gym theme for Johto. And I like it better than the Kanto theme that plays later on, initially. But then the Kanto theme grew on me. And then now in this day and age, the Johto theme is growing on me a little bit more. Like when I feel like the stakes just feel so much higher here. That's what this is. So let's go. We're about to go in. I feel like he's gonna kill me first, but I'm Faulkner, the Violet Pokemon gym leader. People say you can clip flying type Pokemon's wings with a jolt of electricity. I won't allow such insults to bird Pokemon. I'll show you the real power of the magnificent bird Pokemon. Hey. We're making a monster fighting game for kids. Can you make a a song for the gym leaders, please? Oh yeah, sure, I got you. This guy snorted freaking every mushroom in the world before writing this. Insane. All right, let's fight. This is why I'm gonna have a segment strictly about music. I could make a whole video about the music of this game, but it's gonna be bundled in to the Gen 2 video. Alright, I think we're good enough to get through this. He has 3 Pokemon or 4? I'm Millie rocking to this. Hey, Hoot Hoot finally learned a move, and it's Peck. He has 2 Pokemon. I over-prepped for this, and it's Pidgeotto. And this Pidgeotto is level 12, I believe. I'm going to have... Hey, I could do something funny with this Onix right now. Do you guys think... I'm gonna try it. Let's see if Onix can withstand this. Oh, it's a level 9? I like totally overshot how strong this guy was. Nah, bro. Let's use... Oh. Who would have thought he would have used Mud Slap, a super effective move against a rock Pokemon? I don't know, man. Should I? All right, let's go. Let's try it. Nah, he's gonna take me out. Screw it. Onix, get 1 hit in. Yeah, how'd you get a level 9 Pidgeotto? Now that I think about it, that's impossible. It doesn't evolve until what, level 16? Something's wrong here. Oh, and that affects accuracy. Okay, he's trying to get me in a loop. He's trying to fuck me on the Okay, I underestimated your stupid Pidgeotto. Let me get my rage up. Luckily, yes. The accuracy, okay, so I jinxed it, but the accuracy was working for a while. Totodile was hitting the mark. If this thing takes down a level 12 Totodile, I'm gonna be upset. Oh my god. All right, I think I have 1 more hit in me. And it missed. Dang. There goes Totodile. All right, Hoot Hoot. It's up to you. Just peck him. This type coverage is insane. I think they're trying to humble me on that. All right, it's down. Oh god, getting this Hoot Hoot was the best idea ever. Oh, and Rocky boosted. Is Pokerus in this game? If it is, I might have to like show that off at some point. Or I'm kind of suspecting that Onix has it. But I have the Zephyr badge. We're cooking. Oh, trade gets boosted experience. Okay. I was like, you see me processing it, right? I'm like just figuring out like why would it get boosted experience? But yes, trades. That's right. Zephyr badge raises the attack power of Pokemon. Okay, see, so this does affect stats still in Gen 2. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to Game Shark Pokerus into like one of these Pokemon. I had it. My Infernape had Pokerus in Diamond and Pearl. I don't know if the odds went down in future games, but I remember that specifically. I'm like, man, this is so weird. And I was telling my friends about it, and they're like, oh, I don't know what that is. Like, none of my Pokemon have that. And I realized it was such a rare thing. And then you can like get people to catch it. It was crazy. The fact that my starter Pokemon had it was like, that was wild. Like what a pull. It's also, and so that's another mechanic. So for people who know what Pokerus is, it's a very rare virus that affects Pokemon, that affects their skills in a positive way. So it's not like a bad thing. And it was originally in Gold and Silver to the point where like it's such a rare occurrence that nobody, like some people will go their whole life without knowing that Pokerus ever existed. So I think as they're saying in the chat, it was a 1 in 21,000 chance after every wild battle. So yes, okay, so 1 in 21,000 chance after every wild battle, which is still like the odds are pretty insane there. And so as far back as this game, so it's another mechanic. Like, why would you even think like, hey, let's put a mechanic in there where it's like a virus and it helps them, and it's just like so rare. And also shiny Pokemon, which debuted in this game as well. So many things made this such a masterpiece, I'm telling you. And I know it's like some people, like some kids were saying after a while, oh, Gold and Silver is overrated. No, it's not, kid. It's not. Just because you started in Diamond and Pearl doesn't mean this shit is overrated. It is not the best game in the lineup right now, but the strides that it made is the reason why it's a masterpiece. Anyway, it also enables Pokemon to use Flash if they have it anytime. Here, take this too. Hell yeah. By using a TM, a Pokemon will instantly learn a new move. Think before you act. A TM can be used only once. And that contains Mud Slap. What an asshole for teaching that to your level 9 Pidgeotto. And Mud Slap is a new move in Gen 2. So it like combines Sand Attack with actual damage, which is pretty lethal in my opinion. In other words, it is both defensive and offensive. It's offensive to me that you taught your Pidgeotto that shit and used it on my rock type the moment I threw it out there. Shit. Man. But we have our first badge. Professor Elm is calling me. Hello, Yannick. We discovered something about the egg. My assistant is at the Pokemon Center in Violet City. Could you talk to him? Do I have the egg on me, or are they carrying it around and they're gonna give it to me and then it's a certain amount of steps? I think it's that. A shiny Pokemon is 1 out of 8,000. Pokerus was like 3 times rarer than a full odds shiny up to Gen 5. Gen 6, shiny odds got lowered to 1 out of 4,000, but Pokerus stayed at 1 out of 21,000. Funny thing about that, my very first shiny Pokemon was a Murkrow. And you know where I discovered that Murkrow? In the Safari Zone. And I think that was like my last shiny encounter until I played like Sword and Shield. For what it's worth. Alright, let me heal up. I think I can call it on 1 badge. I'm gonna get whatever this guy is gonna give me. So the difference between this and other streams though, I will continue this stream. It seems like there's like a general interest here. There's a ton of you watching. So I can, tomorrow's Thursday. I want to keep playing until I get everything. I'm getting the egg back from this guy. It's going to take a slot in my team, but that's fine. I think this is a Togepi also. And then I remember you get like the egg tracker. You can tell how many steps you have left, right? Is it in my yes. Okay, so we're gonna hold on to this egg until it hatches. I believe it's a Togepi. Why did this bird type trainer have Mud Slap? It's like what a weird. I guess it's just trying to show you the diversity of types in this game, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna save here and then continue tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow because any Mentok stuff I should be doing, it should be me playing this game. So now that I can stream and do this at the same time, I'm gonna try and go for like 1 or 2 badges per stream. I know there's a lot of filler in between there, and then of course we have a ton more badges after the fact, but I know those badges are a lot faster to get. So how many days will this take me if I just kept going non-stop? Let's see if I can do this in like 6 streams or so. 6 more streams. I'm gonna like really like try and hammer this out. And especially on the weekends, I can go a little bit later. So for the late night crew, let's do that over the weekend. How far are you? How many badges? I only have 1 badge. It's my first badge. I started today, and I will have to do better at not sidetracking too much in conversation. So I'll be focused on the goal. But if you guys are enjoying the research streams, I would love to do this for like future videos as well. But I'll definitely keep going with this playthrough. So thanks for everybody who came in. Headhunter Domain, Just a Blazin, Just Ablation, Sora 4440, Hip Hop Her, of course. Thanks for the support. Zay, appreciate you, bruv. Some of the most fun I've had in years. God forbid you play ROM hacks. I highly recommend Pokemon Crystal Clear. I've heard of that one. And I think like for like an official video, I thought about doing it, but I didn't want to like, you know, skew the original content too much. But yes, I would definitely be open to trying it out like later on and playing it. What time are you starting streaming tomorrow? Let's say around the same time. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'm gonna try and stay consistent with the time. So let's say around 6 o'clock every day. We'll go at 6 o'clock every day. If anything changes, I will schedule it ahead of time so you guys know exactly when I start, but it's gonna be in the nights. All right. Aside from that, I appreciate everybody coming through. This has been another solid TheMentok stream. Appreciate guys, your support. And until next time, Prophet has spoken. Peace. Thanks again. Thanks again. We got more games in the future. Looking forward to it.